Hey, Marco, you ready to do the totally awesome, coolest show ever?
Whoa! Whatever you do, don't do the helicopter, bro. Don't do the helicopter. All right. I mean, I don't know. Me and Pete are wrestling fans, and the dark side of the ring came back out. It ain't been a good week for the Horsemen, the leader of the Horsemen.
Nature Boys is not having a good run this week,
bro. I mean, times were different, but they ain't that different. Anyways, Pete. Besides that, what's going on? What's up? What's good?
Not too much. Busy week, as always. Busy.
I know we got some people in there talking about because we got Brian K. Vaughn. I put it out there on the Instagrams. Like that's when people are always asking you who do you read? Like they always think because we do this stuff we don't. Well, I mean, obviously if you watch our show, we read, but like no, you guys never read anything. You just never read it, and it's like yeah, whatever. And whenever they talk like who's one of the guys that you read commonly, like one of the modern guys, like that's him. Like he is the modern guy that I read. And actually, it's kind of funny because I was going back and looking at some of his books, and I was like, I remember when my comic shop where it was, and it's changed. And I didn't realize how long it's been. Like when they brought up Saga was a huge thing, and when they brought up Saga #1, because I got it off, I was like, oh my god,
yeah, I got it off.
I remember that. And then all of a sudden you saw I went through some of the old ones just to check on some stuff and some stuff on Y and see where Y was at, and I was like, oh crap, I'm old, and it's been a long time. Like it has been a long time. So I'm glad we're doing this one. We're putting it in there. He was on the voting. So next week, obviously, we're going to do Venom, but this week we're going to do this. And then we have a little surprise the week after that. I did get to comic book stores. I know you might have gotten there too. Do you want to do that before news, or what do you want to do?
Well, we can do that real fast. Do you want to do yours? Or you want me to just show some random stuff? I got a bunch of stuff in the mail.
You could show random stuff because I got a couple of books and I'll kind of say why I got it.
Right,
well, one book we all know why I got it because we talked about it like last week. So,
all right, let's see what random stuff do I got here. Well, get these in front of me. Well, I got the last issue that I needed for this Jurdovic, Avengers things. I have some of those. I think there's 2 of them in this pile, but that was the last one I needed. That came today. Bought this random, I think it's a 1 in 100 Fear Itself. These were just super cheap. Like these were like cover price or maybe at most like double cover. Like on Chasing Ghosts, I did the Marvel 50th anniversary books. And the ones I did on last Tuesday, I went and bought this because this was like, I don't know, $15 or 20 bucks. I think it was 20. But if this is a 1 in 50, kind of dug it. But then the one I did on Saturday, I noted this while I was doing the video. I was like, this was $8 for a 1 in 50, and it's got that homage to the Mike Zeck Wolverine cap cover.
You can't go wrong for $8. Yeah. I mean, we'll see some Star Wars stuff on Sunday that I pulled. I pulled a 1 in 100 for like $5. I'm just
here's another one of those Jurdovic Avenger covers.
There you go.
Yeah. So they connect. Randomly grab this second print Journey in the Mystery because it's Odin. Because I don't know,
Golden Eye.
Super. They were really cheap. Like it was just me making a pile to kind of justify like paying a shipping cost. And then there's a more Jurdovic. These are different ones connecting Iron Man covers I bought. Because again,
he likes
all this
to
stuff
connect covers, man. Jurdovic loves the connectors.
He does. So, and I like buying them if they're again cheap. These were like cover price or a tiny bit more at most, but for the most part, less.
All right. Hey, thanks, Sticks. I don't know, man. I kind of debated this too. I actually went hunting a little bit today. I had a bunch of other stuff on the mind, but like grabbed a couple things. And I didn't even go over to Y, but we'll talk about some of the Y stuff and what's still cheap and what maybe you should pick up later on. We didn't do like a C list on it, but we did some like characters we hope to see. So that's pretty good. Tiger Fett, good to see you, man. Yeah, it's great to see you, brother. Turk. Hey. Yeah, he does a great job on that Ghost show. If you guys aren't watching that Ghost show, make sure you check Pete out. What day did you drop Ghost? Is that
It's usually Tuesdays. Usually, so it's been yesterday.
What day is it today? It's Wednesday today.
Yeah, so I did a different one, getting off those Marvel 50th anniversary. I basically did all 25 of them over like.
See what JJ says about your picture, first appearance of Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
So I'm only showing 2 on this. I'll show the rest probably. Actually, we got a plan because I did pick up a small collection. A famous guy has got some books in there, but I think we're gonna do something on him. To the guy, famous creator. But
okay.
I think we'll do something on him in a couple weeks after Venom, just to do some super stuff. You know who I'm talking about.
Away
because I showed you those. Yeah. But I haven't even I got him. I just got him out of the box. It was like in a box, and it was one of those great finds where it was like somebody had mislabeled it and they'd thrown it in the back of a thing, and it was just this box. And I said, "Hey, I'll look in the box," and then I go, "Oh, that's a Kirby," and I picked the whole box up really cheap. Either way. So, as you know, we don't just talk about it. We buy what we talk about. So I was like, man, where's my good copy of that book? So for $5, I saw it and I said, oh man, I gotta go buy it again, just because we talked about, hey, why not? And then number 2, I probably shouldn't tell people I'm doing this because it's weird. And then because I'm doing it now, other people, Liefeld collection. I see that, JJ. No, I did not pick up a Liefeld collection. Hey, but if you pick them up, make sure you sell them fast. So this is the other one I pick up. It's Gargoyles, but so it's that mini series from Marvel, but this one's newsstand. Yeah, for $1. Everybody, of course, is picking up one. So I have I have a couple one newsstand. So I'm trying to put a couple of these together as like a run. So like whenever I see the newsstand's cheap enough, pick up a little Gargoyles newsstand. Not a bad. I don't know, whatever. I love the Gargoyles cartoon, man. So like I don't care, even if I got a couple of runs of that. Didn't put me out, $6 a run, so, but that's what I got in the regs. I mean, I got another 100 comics, but I haven't even had the time to dig through them yet. So, but yeah,
I did get this. I got one more thing. I forgot because I'm not going to be on Sunday, so I can't save this for Sunday.
No, good. That's fine.
Yeah. The mini mall. I got the little mall.
Nice. By the way, guys, if you aren't watching my man TY TV 93, is it TY TV?
Yes.
Ty. He's been on our show.
93.
Yeah, he's been on our show a couple times. He actually
works. 93.
He works when we do all our live shows now, so it stinks. But if watch his stuff, him and Brooke have been out there, and they just released 2 more, and it's straight hot fire. So it's funny. They're funny. They're funny. They are funny. They're funny. So go watch.
I want to
them.
do more toy stuff too.
I know, man. Like I actually think me and you should meet up. I wish it was still. It may be next spring or something, or maybe even in the fall. We'll go to one toy show together, and we'll just toy it out real quickly because.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it is. Yes, is that a new mall? It is.
Yeah, that's the new.
Is that Walmart?
Mandalore Mall, I guess, is what they're calling it. Darth Maul Mandalore.
Is that the Wally World?
No, I got this off Entertainment Earth. I got pre-ordered it.
Fair enough. All right, so with that being said, does the famous creator know how to draw feet? Yes, I would argue that the famous creator is probably one of the best drawers there is out there. I mean, he was doing, at one time, I think he was doing something like 20 titles. So I could argue, and that's in a month, so I would argue that, yes, he knows how to draw feet. He does.
He does.
Oh, hey, yeah, by the way, SSGSS. Oh, what do you think that stands for? No clue, right?
I don't know. Could just be a G with some S's around
Uzumaki. Oh, hopefully that's. Uzumaki. Hopefully I hit it. Hopefully I hit it pretty close. If not, feel free to hit me on the IGs and phonetically do it for me. I'll probably still get it wrong. All right, Pete, we got some news.
Yeah, we'll get to the news.
We got some good news too. I'm excited about this news.
I was worried, but
a little spicy news. All right, let's see the spicy news.
Organize their stuff here.
One of the things, I'll just give an ad lib spicy news that you didn't add in. They might have cast the character for Werewolf by Night. They just like hours.
Not Jack Daniels.
No clue who the guy is. That's bad.
Oh no, but the character's name. His name is the dog.
Bounty Hunter.
No, the Werewolf by Night guy. His like the human name is like it's that breed of dog, the little dog.
Jack Terrier.
Yes, Jack Terrier.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, lot a lot of things ended up popping
That's
up.
a great thing. I don't know how you. Yeah, I was not thinking of the dog. I was thinking I didn't know whose name. I thought you were talking about the actor's name.
No, the actor's name, because I didn't see the news. I don't know who.
And then it wasn't until you said dog, and I was like, is he talking
dog.
about the character Jack Terrier? Like,
it's not Jack. Baby. What is it? It's Jack something.
Marv, thanks. We try to keep it professional, bro. We try, you know.
All right, so the first thing, I mean, we've been talking about Shang-Chi right off the bat the last couple of weeks, so I might as well just mention real quick. It's going to hit Disney Plus in November 12th. It'll be on Disney Plus.
Hey, hold on. Check mark. Thank you.
Super. I can't even say the Dragon Ball names. I sound silly because my brother was more the Dragon Ball guy, not me.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings will hit. So that's not that long, right?
No, yeah. But it's outside the 45 days. And it was #1 again for the third week in a row. So another 21.
I was just talking to guys in the comic book shop about that.
So 178, not too bad domestic for considering, where we're at. 306 worldwide without China.
Without China, timeout. Without China. And it's not even where we're at. Without China, that's good. I mean, even in regular times, that's good. It's a good. I can't remember what was Doc Strange. This is better than Doc Strange. It's got to be better than Doc Strange.
Oh, what overall? It's probably close.
Better than Ant-Man and Wasp. So
yeah, it's still all probably pretty close. I mean, it all depends. The next few weeks still kind of is really where the legs.
Look, I was a big fan of this one.
Me too.
So
I'll be happy come November when I can just pop it on in the background. Anytime I want.
Did you see DC was trolling Marvel?
No.
Yeah, they had like the James Gunn character say something like, "Can you guys get like just vanilla type whatever they said?" If I was Marvel, I just would have taken a picture of a Brinks truck backing up.
So take that, WB.
Yeah. Hey, Nicole. And then after that, I would have said, by the way, we actually sell comic books. Like,
oh, well, there's that too, I guess.
So
there is that.
But that's good. It's good to have it's good for DC to be chipper. They had one good movie in the last 20 years.
Yeah. But apparently they're also going to do some sort of that November 12th date is going to be some special Disney Plus day or something.
Pete, they're listening to us. Do you remember this? We were talking. We're like, well, DC has the DC day. And
oh yeah, that's right.
That's us. They 100% are listening to this show. They're one of our 300 viewers. Like they're like, hey, look, Pete and Marco's show is totally awesome and cool, and we watch that, and they have a great idea. So now we're gonna, they know what they're talking about. So now we're gonna do it. So good. They're going to have a Disney day now, which is perfect. A Disney Plus day, which is awesome.
Yeah, Disney Plus day. They listed like a bunch of stuff. I didn't want to go through the whole list because a lot of it really wasn't all that interesting, but they did mention some sort of sneak peeks and like behind the scenes type of stuff. And but yeah, November 12th, it will be the unveiling, I guess, of some of this new material. So maybe we get announcements for the new shows, like the shows that we know are coming.
Yeah, I hope we do. And maybe there might be a preview or two.
Maybe.
From what I hear, I might hear from a couple sources that they might have a couple previews on it.
We got a rating for Eternals. PG-13.
Well, I mean, there's a certain Eternal that we covered. Go back and watch, and she likes to get down.
Yeah, well,
and that's her job, is to get down. So
fantasy violence and brief sexuality.
Hey, in the comics, she had lots of sexuality. So
Stick that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. PG-13, they're most PG-13. So
come on. Yeah. Plus, there's a bunch of gods roaming around. I mean, what else are they going to do? Get down. So
yeah. Now, I don't like posting like spoilers, but since this is all just made up rumors that's on the internet anyway, it's not really a spoiler. It's because somebody's saying this happened. Because I don't believe any of this stuff. But they're saying they're a leak pre-viz shot. If you're really going to trust pre-visualization CGI stuff leaking out, that means the person who deep faked it at home just isn't very good. So it's a pre-visualization.
I mean, what is even that? What is that even?
It's kind of like the not animatronics.
Animatronics. I know, but like
animatics.
How's that a leak? That literally anybody could add that in. That could be post.
Yeah,
that could be post all day long.
Oh, Professor X will show up. hey, maybe they do show Professor X because they own all the Fox movies. Maybe they do, but I don't think this means we're getting the X-Men yet.
No, I think
not yet. It'll be a much bigger deal.
Hey, real quickly going back, he gave us, speaking of Doc Strange, he gave us the gross, which was
that's got to be world.
And that's gross, including the world. And then domestic was 232.
Yeah, but that makes sense. A lot of them hit like that too.
Yeah, Shag's got a couple more weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean it's only been 3 weeks. That's like lifetime run. Mm-hmm. Granted, the older movies, they used to have 10, 12 weeks in them. Oh. Shang-Chi's probably got another 2 or 3 before they basically pull it. I mean, it's gonna be free soon.
I wonder if they will pull it. It's the only thing showing in theaters. So
that is true as well. That is true. There's some stuff coming out for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and Venom's coming out next week. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Venom. There's Bond movie coming out. There's a few things, but no.
Right.
I don't know. But that's our first pre-viz leak that I put in here. And then we got another video effects photo leak just showing, again, what we expect anyway. They're saying, there's going to be the Sinister Six. 4 members are shown in this tiny little screen.
So this guy's capturing all the stuff, but he doesn't know how to shoot a picture on a screen without having his fat butt in it.
But exactly.
I mean, no, I'm just saying this is a mastermind here. This guy's got all the leaks, but he just ain't bright enough how to get that screenshot.
Crop himself out of the screen reflection.
No, bro, not even that. Doesn't know how to work a screenshot.
No, there's that too.
You don't have to take the picture of it on your phone. It's on your computer. Screen capture, bro. What are you doing? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. That's why I'm saying I don't feel bad showing this because it's not really a spoiler. It's just
this is it. Hey, Tiger Fett's got down. Professor X is really Mephisto. There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah. So who knows? Again, maybe we get the Sinister Six. Maybe we don't. But basically, what they're saying, I think they're saying there's Lizard, Sandman, Lizard, Electro, and somebody else.
Which are the one, and probably
all the ones that were in the movies already.
All the ones that everybody has said is going to show up in these movies. And actually, if you look at the preview, there was lightning on sand, which is why everybody says Electro and Sandman. We saw Doc Ock, and what was the last one? Lizard?
Yeah, Lizard. He was in one of the movies.
I don't know if he showed up for one or not. So okay, whatever. Frame store?
Whatever.
What is Frame Store? I don't even know what this is, bro.
I don't know what that is either.
I don't follow the rumor site, so I got no.
That was a Twitter. The picture itself came from Twitter. It was somebody on Twitter.
So the guy took a picture of a screen that he could just screen captured on his phone and then put it on Twitter and was like, dude, legit.
Yeah. Something like that.
Cool story, bro. That's all I got to say to that.
This says rumor, but this one makes a lot of sense too. It's just saying that Ms. Marvel is got a release date.
That would be cool right there. This would be cool. I hope X-Men are brought in through Spider-Man, just like X-Men 35. Along Came a Spider. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Along Came a Spider. That would be really cool. Yeah. All right, rumor that she's moved now to February.
Yeah, it does make, because this was supposed to be before the year was over, but I don't think there's room.
Yeah. This was something we were talking about the other day when we were talking about
there's not really any room left.
Where are we going to start pushing? You're like, somebody was arguing the fact that you can make stuff. Maybe it was on the Star Wars show, but they could just put it together. You know how fast they could shoot something and put it out. And it's like, yeah, but then they got to put it out too. Where are you going to shove this?
That's the problem, because this is all done.
Fans want stuff back to back. I get that, but they do not want stuff back to back. You know what I mean?
But even if they do it back to back, that's what I'm saying. We're already in September. We're getting Hawkeye in November? Book of Fett's in December?
That's what I'm saying. And look what they just did. Look what they're still in What If, and they just on the same day they have What If, they just dropped all the Vision stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here, guys?
Yeah. This is really, it makes a lot. February makes a lot of sense because that'll probably give Book of Fett time to wrap up. And then they'll have this, and then I know She-Hulk's not ready yet, and Moon Knight's not ready, so who knows?
Yeah.
Well, but the other little bit is, Daredevil wants to bring, basically the Netflix guys to the MCU, which makes a lot of sense. I'd like to see it too.
Who wants to do that?
Oh, Charlie Cox, the guy who played Daredevil. He wants to see Punisher and Jessica Jones brought to the MCU too.
Of course, he wants a paycheck.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they were all good. I thought that Netflix was well cast, even though I didn't love all of the series and everything that they did. I thought the casting was done well.
I actually thoroughly liked the series that they did. all of them. I thought it was great. The only problem was you could tell when it was going down. If they took those series and they ended up doing Shadowlands instead of Heroes for fucking Hire, because remember they were trying to do like some weird Iron Fist Heroes for Hire BS or something like that. If they just would have gone Shadowlands with it and kept it, because how gritty would a Shadowlands been?
Yeah, I mean I thought they were kind of going that way.
It looked like it, yeah,
coming in and
for the longest time it looked like they were going Shadowlands, like, and that would be cool. Like if they go Shadowlands, oh man. I mean, I don't know what the chat thinks, or if they even know what Shadowlands is. Maybe we should cover that sometime and explain what that's. Maybe just a different thing we should cover and explain what Shadowlands is. But it probably is I think that's one of the great like Marvel arcs. You think
Tiger Fett, I guess, didn't care for Dolph Lundgren's
You didn't like Dolph Lundgren, huh? Okay.
No, I do not.
No, he was good. He actually was really good. I mean, it was tough to get over the Shane thing, but, you know, I mean, it was good. He was good. Jessica Jones, whoever the young lady is that plays Jessica Jones, who I found completely annoying in whatever. She was in some weird thing. Ritter. Well, she tried to be a comedian, right? She's trying. Well,
she was on that. She was on that like sitcom show, The Bee in Apartment 23 with
horrible.
Oh yeah, it was not a good show.
She was not good, but she was good as Jessica Jones, and even
she was good in Breaking Bad. She was Pinkman's girlfriend who OD'd. Walter White watched die.
Yeah, what's going on this? Why isn't he ever Cage? I thought Cage, but everybody can have their own favorite opinion. I thought Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, Michael Coulter was good as Cage.
I thought it was the best. Like Jessica Jones episode 1 was season 1 was really good, like one of the best seasons. But as a whole, Luke Cage's 2 seasons, best. You see what I'm saying there? Yeah, I mean, her second season. Daredevil was okay. I mean, Daredevil was good. Don't get me wrong. Daredevil was good. Punisher was good-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Cage season 1 just kind of it lost momentum after Mahershala died because the Diamondback guy wasn't as good and he was supposed to be badder, and it just didn't play that well. It didn't play that way.
Yeah,
that's Shadowlands thing that hurt.
That's kind of a good way to sum it up. It happened. He takes over the hand to kind of control the bad, and everybody gets involved. Like Hell's Kitchen all gets involved, and then Spider-Man, a lot of other heroes. They get Moon Knight in there and everything like that. It's like all the dark characters, all the Max characters at one point pretty much get involved. So if you had a Max title, you got involved in it, which it wasn't under Max. It was after Max was finished off. But yes.
Oh yeah. It was
Tiger Fett. You're correct. Shadowlands. He says Shadowlands is where Daredevil became the leader of the hand and wore a black and red costume. Mm-hmm.
No, but what I wanted a Daughters of the Dragon spinoff. That one episode that where we kind of got a little bit of that.
Well,
like Misty Knight and.
I think they could have done that. I'm saying like you do a Shadowlands, but then you do all the spinoffs too. Like you almost kind of make it like a comic, right? So you do all these little spinoffs, and then you have them meet and do Shadowlands, just like you did with Shadowlands at the time. So I thought that was kind of cool. Night Nurse.
Even Iron Fist got better the second season. It still wasn't good.
Yeah, no,
it got better. Then it was just rough. The first one,
bro. I'm sorry. You just brought up Dolph Lundgren. I was
joking.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I've seen worse stuff. The Fantastic Four, just to keep the rights movie, was way worse than any of this stuff. You know what I mean? That Lionsgate stuff was not good. Like Punisher Warzone was okay, but like it just
the one with the dude from Rome, Stevenson, Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
Oh, who played Volstagg or Volstagg?
So yeah, I mean
that guy in Thor.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, though that's the reason. Like when people were complaining, I was like, "Have you not watched Marvel? Like up until this point, have you not watched Marvel stuff? Like you think it's Iron Man? And by the way, Iron Man 2 and 3 not so good. But like, do you think it's the Avengers? It's not. They have a lot of garbage on their books too. You know what I mean? So like,
not a fan of Howard the Duck.
What's up, T-Bone? No, I love Howard the Duck. You want to hear a short story? You want to hear a Marco story about Howard the Duck? My parents had rented it. Because they thought it was like, what was it, a Lucas or a Spielberg movie? So, it got a bunch of hype.
Yeah. I think it
got a bunch of hype. So, and we didn't have a lot of money at the time. So like to rent a movie at the time was a huge thing. So they rented this movie. It was going to be like
a great kids movie. And then you see
not even a kids movie, just going to be a great, like Academy Award winning style movie. I'd never heard so much cussing in my life. Over $2. They were so mad.
They didn't like the song?
was no. Look, Fun with Dick and Jane is the only movie I've never made it through. The only movie they've never made it through was the Howard the Duck movie.
Which Fun? The remake with Jim Carrey? Fun with Dick and Jane, or the George Segal?
Yes, that one. Okay. Yeah, that one's terrible. So,
yeah,
no, they didn't make it through it, and they got so mad, and it was like, and I get it. Like, I mean, you got to remember, it's a long time ago when that movie came out. $2 back then. Is not like $2 today or whatever. It was probably like $5 to be honest with you. No, I think it's probably $2 to rent a movie. I don't know. I can't remember how much movies were to rent back then. But like, yeah, no. So that was like their 1 month. You know, they found that was their date night. They had gotten even like a sitter to make sure we were going to bed and whatever romantic stuff moms and dads do, they were doing it. And they were not happy. Not happy at Howard the Duck at all. So I couldn't wait. Like I had to sneak up and they caught us watching it. And then when we got free cable week, of course, Howard the Duck was on free HBO week. So we got that and got to watch it there. And we were like, yeah, what's they talking about? This is pretty good. Because like a kid, who can, you don't even know it's based on a comic book. So anyways, yeah, first time I saw, okay, Marv, not going to put that in there. But yeah, that's cool. Eric, good to see you. T-Bone, what's going on?
Well, that's why I said it. That's
that's what you said. What?
That when I said it was a kids movie, that Howard pulls one out, like he's
There's all types of stuff going on there. Yeah,
like, what is that?
Oh, and my parents weren't like prudy or like didn't they have a pretty like their thing is like maybe their sense of humor like they are dad and mom joke where their shit ain't funny, but like they respect people enough to like even if their shit ain't funny, they must know their shit wasn't funny, so they would just let the shit go by. You know what I mean? Like my dad was pretty funny, my mom was. So like they just like, oh, okay, well, I'll respect at least they're giving it an all-out effort. They had no love for Howard the Duck. Like if I say that, if I'm at dinner with my moms and I say Howard the Duck, to this day, it's been what 40 years, right? Somewhere around there. It's almost been 40
probably like 35.
35 years. She will go on a rant about the worst movie of all time and how it ruined their entire month and probably the rest of the year. All because of that movie. All right.
All because of Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. There you go. All right. Up next, what do we got?
Unrelated.
Absolutely.
Henry Rollins is joining this new gen, the animated series. I've been talking about this animated series for like 2 or 3 years now. I feel like I've dug this book out of dollar boxes a few times. So hopefully this is true because I still have a couple left. But it used to do well. This used to do like $20-$30. You get that new gen #1.
Where he had where he had the motorcycle too with the thing on the front.
Oh yeah, that one with the Italian Red Skull.
So I like Harry Rollins. He's always got mad face, even when he's not mad. I mean, he's not RBA face. It's just dick face. He's got dick face. He just looks like a dick at all times. So but he actually seems all right. So this could be fun, I guess. I mean, he's very passionate.
You're gonna get his voice. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's gonna be passionate. There's gonna be a little passion add to it. So there you go. New gen, really? This is what we're doing? New fucking gen? Okay.
Well, it's Marvel related, so I figured I'd throw it in there.
No, it is. No, I'm saying like Marvel's doing new gen. Yeah, okay.
I don't think they are because I think it's Netflix or something. It was weird. It's like a weird. I don't know.
Oh, don't think Marvel won't go someplace else to get their money. If somebody's willing to pay for it, they'll do it.
Yeah, we'll see. But next, this was just something I just thought was interesting. I saw on IGN. It was like they actually had a hands-on because I was not impressed by the trailer for Guardians, the video game, either. But apparently, the gameplay was kind of pretty fun from what I gathered with the little thing that I read. Like, there's a lot of you got to do quick action kind of things, but you control Star-Lord apparently, but then you can still direct the rest of the team, almost like an RPG type of deal. So you're only playing as Star-Lord, but you can still be like, Drax, do this move, I'm assuming, kind of like, again, like an RPG.
Or set it up like a Final Fantasy type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
maybe when we get more gameplay out of that stuff, because they released all those trailers, but I really, me talk to JJ about it too, like,
it's all like cutscenes, so it's like, you're not showing me what's the actual game going to be like.
See gameplay, man. So.
Yeah, so this gave some sense of it. They showed things. It looks like, with a conversation, you choose how you want the conversation to go kind of thing. And again, when you're fighting, you can tell, your boys to do stuff. So I thought it was kind of interesting. And it was Marvel and video games, and I like video games too, which is why.
Okay. All right, this is good one. Go ahead. All right, I got something to say about this one right here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, no, give us the headline so I can.
Oh, the headline is just the Sonic creator questions whether this record sale was a scam.
I don't think he did.
Well, that's what it says. That's what the headline was. But it's just saying $430,000 for this 9 point. I think it's a 9.4, of this Sonic.
I actually did. I didn't question it till I saw the response from the auction company, and now I'm questioning if this is a scam. Okay, all right. Listen, the dude comes out there. My man, Naki-san, comes out there and goes like this. He goes, "Oh my gosh, cannot believe Sonic, my creation sells for like I'm giving you an accent, like the Twitter has an accent."
You get yourself in more trouble doing that.
How he breaks it up is like it's something like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Is this real? This has to be a fake sale. I can't believe how popular Sonic has become." Right?
Yeah. Well, they've done movies.
If you have any experience with a bunch of people of Japanese ethnic thing, when some of it doesn't. The translation's it's choppy, and if you misplace the words, it might seem like, I can't believe this is what they're saying it sold for. There's no way this sold. It's not real. That's not what
there's a difference between questioning and just stating, I'm surprised.
Yeah, he was saying like, oh, look at how I read his little wording. What he had said was, I can't believe how far Sonic's come. I can't believe it's the #1 game selling at that high price. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe it.
Yeah. The Sega Genesis game, an all-time.
Yeah, but Golden Auction's coming hot. It's like, hey, listen, don't question us. Our sales are like, bro, yo, what are you hiding?
You got to imagine they're sensitive with all those rumors that were going on. What was it? The other place, right?
Bro.
So, they're probably just touchy, like, whoa, no, it's good.
Nah, you're touching something shady like that. That didn't sound shady. Like, that was really touchy real quick.
Too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't even breathe. They didn't let this guy even breathe it out there to be like, look, we all have to deal with the internet, right? Like, we definitely us. We get a lot of stuff in and out. There's a lot of times we have to reread stuff. There's a lot of times you write a response and then you ask somebody else if this is a valid response, and you have to remember there's no tone, right?
Oh, forget the internet. I got to do that work sometimes. I'm like, look, I'm not coming off.
Respond. But you just got to remember there's no tone, right? Like, so like, I don't know what Golden Auction House and Ken over there was thinking, but like, bro, like somebody should have gone like, wait, don't write that, man. Like, have Timmy that's not related to us, that doesn't have an account over here, go like, I'm sorry, are you saying that you think that's a scam? It's a good site. That's not what they did. They just went straight. We don't scam people. These are legit. Bro, whoa. Pump the brakes. Nobody was saying that. Nobody's saying that, dude. It's like, like, oh man, I don't like chocolate ice cream. And the ice cream vendor comes over going, oh, we have the best chocolate ice cream on all time. You're an idiot. Everybody loves our chocolate ice cream. It's legit chocolate ice cream. We don't use fake chocolate in our ice cream. We use 100% cocoa in our. Like,
but maybe
nobody said that, bro.
Maybe they wanted this. Maybe they wanted this because, to be honest, I didn't know. I've never heard of Golden Auctions. Like, I don't know that auction site or auction house like that. I don't know of that, but maybe they're trying to make a name for them, get their name out there by stirring up the pot a little bit,
bro. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe, but he seemed real. I'm just saying, Kenny Boy seemed a little bit too defensive for what was going on in this legit situation, where the guy was just happy and proud that his creation on a video game had sold for so much,
was inching close to $500 million.
Yeah, and Kenny Boy comes straight.
$500,000. $500,000. That's what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a record for any of the Sega games of all time, which is what he said. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. There's no possible way this could be a real sale. Like, it's unbelievable that Sonic got that popular."
Down. I'm not telling you to leave. Like, I just
like, bro, what are you jacked up on? Like, put it down. Whatever you got going on, you just slow that down real quickly, buddy.
Well, they probably got a good commission off of that sale, so he might have a little Tutorutski.
I don't even know if they do have a good commission, because now I think it's fake. So whatever. Wouldn't have thought it was fake till that happened.
Moving on. Nike SB. I like actually this line. I used to wear them all the time. I need to get a new pair. But apparently they're teaming up with Bandai to make a Gundam collaboration on some sneakers.
What does that go? What does an SB go for typically?
Well, it
Like
depends on the
$100,
release. I mean,
20.
sometimes some of the releases are like limited, and then they, nobody ever gets a chance to buy them. So then you got to go to like StockX and all those places, and it's like a few $100s. But I think the general like MSRP on a pair of sneakers, like a Nike Dunk SB, is probably like 120, somewhere in that range.
I wear Pumas and New Balance. They're like $45.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool. No, but I think you're putting this back up here because we both like Gundam.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Gundam and the sneakers, and they're also releasing.
Oh, that's what it looks like. Oh,
it's a little blurry. This image ended up being a little blary, but yeah, it is textured. Like
textured.
The swoosh looks textured.
So you're not wearing those shoes. You're just like holding on to them, right?
I don't know. Some people do. I wore some of mine, but yeah. But there's figures they're releasing too. I don't know but they have like these Gundam type figures that look like this. There's like a white version and then a black version.
What I'm thinking is you buy the shoe and then you put the figure next to the shoe and you just put them in.
Have it in a glass case somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how that works.
Probably, yeah, but something.
If I see you wear, Pete, if you wear that shoe, I'm just gonna laugh at your ass. Yeah,
well, I wouldn't. I don't like high tops. I like the low tops. You just slide them right on and off.
That's what you think the problem with that shoe is.
What's that?
That's what you think the problem with that shoe is that. It's
no. I don't like the swoosh sticking out that much.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's also not. I don't want to say crazy enough.
I like the picture better than I actually like the real product.
Yeah. Again, there were clearer pictures. This was just like a.
No, I know.
It
looks like it's falling off. Whatever.
But it does look like that a little bit. But yeah, who knows? But again, they got little toys too. That's kind of fun.
Toys are fun. I like toys.
Yeah, because
is it gonna be 8 feet tall? How big is it gonna be?
I don't know if it's 8 feet tall, but it looked maybe.
Are you get like the old school ones where it's like 4 feet or 3 feet?
No, I don't think it's that big. No, I also don't know the price on them either, but what I gathered, like from the image, it looks like maybe like the big transformer. So maybe like foot to foot and a half, maybe somewhere in that range. Probably like 14 inches.
Like those 2 feet or whatever it is, like the 2-3 feet ones. Like the whole
no, they're probably not that big.
Then shoot projectiles. That would be cool.
Oh, Shogun Warriors.
Yeah, I like the Shogun Warriors.
That would be something. I miss my Shogun Warriors. But we got some other toy news. We're gonna stick with little toys for right now. Some new Batman figures. I mean, I don't buy the DC figures. I get it. McFarlane's doing them. Some of them look pretty cool, but when I go into a shop, like you Walmarts and whatever, everything else is sold, but the DC stuff.
Yeah, and it's a shit. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not saying every figure's there. I'm sure there's certain ones that get pulled out, but I always see at least some DC figures on the shelf. There's no G.I. Joes. There's hardly any Marvel Legends, apart from maybe a couple of crappy ones that are there. Star Wars is completely wiped out. Even the wrestlers are all gone. But there's DC guys.
Well, I mean, that's also because they're producing 80. McFarlane is he's of that mindset that it doesn't matter if you have quality. It's all about quantity. His buddy that can't draw feet says it all the time. Well, I sold the most. Yeah, it's to distributors. They didn't sell them books, bro. So like, and same thing with these. Like, they're cool, but like, there's a bazillion of them out there, which I actually really like them. I think the Joker's.
There's the one. It was the Dark Knight's Metal, like the Aquaman. I think it's like the female Aquaman version Batman. I don't know which one that was. There was literally a dozen of that one figure in the section of the toy
one I think he made. Speaking of the Dark Knights, I think
that was the only figure they had. Was that one? They had a dozen.
So they're stocked over here. The only ones you couldn't find was, I think it was like the Batman Who Laughs, the Robin version of that, whatever that was.
Okay, yeah,
King Robin or whatever, and one other one, because some kid was asking, like some mom was asking one of the kids and they didn't know, and I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. And then they just decided to buy some other figure. I mean, there was a bazillion figures, so she was like confused. I mean, there's like, you're talking like, what, the pegs at a Target, how many is it? 8 pegs, 2 deep, 2 up and down. You know what I mean? So 16 pegs full. Yeah. So, I mean, they're there. Go on. Yeah. You're not wrong.
What I don't actually see a lot of is our next, again, stick with toys. Apparently got another wave of these guys.
You got to get them quick, man. They can have
He-Man and Skeletor.
And then the new Skeletor
and Battle Cat, which I have, which my son got me. That's like the only ones I'll ever see on the shelf.
You want to know why? Because Battle Cat went on clearance. That's why I got it for you.
No, this was back in like June. This was Father's Day time, so
I got mine.
They probably paid full price. They could have waited.
They could have waited.
They could have waited, but I don't know. This kind of hits me in the feels a little bit. Seeing
with the comics and all. I mean, so Buzz Off. I still currently have 2 Buzz Offs. He must have been a terrible character growing up, and my dad had a tendency to like. Kind of like me, he'd go out and like when stuff was on clearance, he'd go and buy them, and then hide it, and then forget what he bought, and then he'd buy a second one. Too bad it was like never good shit stuff. Yeah, never good stuff. Is still does that. The crappy characters. So not that Buzz Off is crappy, but he's kind of crappy.
Yeah, Buzz Off was not great. The weird little claw hands that he had, and then somehow they gave him a weapon. It was like, oh, we got to just put it around his wrist.
Well, it was the same thing. No, that was the same weapon that Clawfuls had in somebody else. There's like 3 people.
Yeah, Clawful didn't need one because he had a big ass claw.
Yeah, I mean, like whatever.
Yeah,
but these come with the mini comics, right?
He didn't need a weapon. He had a big chopping hand. So what are you going to give him a weapon for?
These come with the mini comics too. The reprints of the mini. Comics?
It looks like there's the mini comics are behind it, but it looks like it's the same comic. If I'm looking at the picture, looks like the same book behind all of them. Well, and for some reason, Stratos is flesh colored, which kind of weirds me out.
I think that's just a lighting issue.
I don't know, because his beard looks gray. You can't see it as clearly as I can, but his beard looks gray, but his body looks flesh toned.
I like Stratos.
I do too, but he's gray. He's got gray feathers all over him.
Getting old, man.
Yeah, but this makes him young again. Like, we're gonna make him. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the figures were a little weird when they try to they flesh toned like the bodies, and it's like, wait, but that leg has boots, but you just pretend like that's his skin, like he has some sort of condition that looks like fuzzy boots.
Yeah. They need to re-release these. For some reason, whenever they release these things, they just go, man.
Yeah, well, because they're kind of cool. Again, they remind you of the old days, even though they're not quite the same. They're close enough. Me seeing them on the shelf makes me think back to when I was my son's age and I would see this stuff on the shelf going, ooh, can I have that?
If you see them on the shelf, you're lucky, man, because they ain't there. So
yeah, well, like I said, the only ones I see is He-Man and Skeletor, if anything. But that's what I got for the toys.
Do you know what those go for? What are they a piece?
They're like 15. Yeah, they're like 15, which it's not terrible, but still, I don't know. I remember the old days. I'm going to be that crotchety old guy.
Well, gas in the old days was 40 cents. So
yeah, no, I know. And you'd be like, well, a pack of cigarettes and all that stuff. Like, a loaf of bread was this. Like, yeah. I remember that too. I remember the days, like I said, give me 5 a regular and I'd get half a tank.
Yeah, I know that, but 5 a regular was like, that was like 3 hours of pay also at the time that you get a half a tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you think about it,
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, everything's just bumped up, I guess. But I just had a couple of comic things. I think some of the stuff that I guess came out today. So the Spider-Woman. I'm not reading Spider-Woman, but apparently she's got a new sidekick now. Okay, I guess it's interesting. She looks kind of like Tarantula to me.
She does. Everybody's getting a new sidekick.
Yeah, so, and I think like her dad was a villain, I think, in the storyline, and then she took the serum too, but she's still gonna try to, I don't know, be a sidekick, not a bad guy. Yeah, who knows? But there we are.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. Falcon and Winter Soldier teaming up with everybody's favorite John Walker.
I saw this.
We got to bring John Walker back, right? I guess. And this, I don't know. I'm not, it's weird. Like some of these titles, I guess they're just trying stuff because nobody's picking it up. Because I'm not picking up the this extra Captain America mini because I'm just not that into it. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't want.
Don't you think they should drop this while the show was on?
Yeah, like I don't want college campus Captain America. Like I don't care.
Huh.
That's the kind of thing that they're doing, and it's just just not for me. But yeah, John Walker, I guess, coming back. I mean, I figure that I know they don't really tie comics to the movies really all that much, but the comics follow like the movies. They'll try to take advantage, I think, of character popularity. So people saw John Walker on the show. We know we're gonna get more John Walker at some point, so they're probably saying, you know what, let's put him in. Let's put him in. I don't know. But that apparently is newsworthy. Again, I was worried about not having enough news coming into today, so I was scraping, and this is the stuff I found out there. I think this was on CBR. And then the last one that I went and found there is the Thanos Rises that dropped today. And I think they just kind of confirmed what we were already thinking, was that they're going to connect it and just make Thanos like one of the Eternals, you know? That's kind of what they're doing with this one shot. You're muted.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Even in like the up, they've made reference to it before, so I think we kind of get.
Yeah, I mean, this is an Eternals book too, but it's just they just kind of fleshed out the story with. They made it like almost like a Greek tragedy. Like I don't know if you read it or not, but it was just this whole thing like with his father, and then they had to go through Kronos and saying, "Well, you know, Eternals can't reproduce, but please, Dad, let us." And he gave him quantum bands and said, "Here, I give you these quantum bands, but I'm not giving them to you if you're unwed." So then they got married and
awesome.
Yeah. Then they had Thanos. Oh yeah, we'll call one Eros and we'll call the other one Thanos. And then it didn't turn out well for them. So Thanos ended up killing his mom.
Yes, he did.
So that was it.
It was a little different in the Thanos Rising thing, but sure, fair enough. All right, cool. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it was funny too because that was another one where people were hooting and hollering at the comic book store today too. They were like, you know what? We really like that last trailer it got people stoked for Eternal. So we'll see what it does.
Yeah, the last trailer was pretty good. I'm looking forward to it.
So we had no news today, and we took 46 minutes going over news. Good job, Pete. I mean, we threw in a market.
There was no news yesterday. Once I got to today, I got a few more things.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, let's get it moving then, because now we're obviously running behind time. I will go to it. Let's hit the list that everybody's been coming from. The Brian K. Vaughan, my favorite creator list. Well, at least modern. You know, he's definitely up there, like top 5. And so I'm S-tiering everything just to let everybody know right now. We're going to need you people in the chat to help us out, because if not, we're going to have one enormous S tier. That's it. For those that haven't done it before, we rank these. Well, this time we're just going to rank his titles, right? Instead of taking one shot, we're going to try to rank the titles or rank the runs. And pretty much the chat can help it out. It can make the difference. It can make it tie breaking, or it could just take it over. If you guys outvote me and Pete, you know, we do sometimes go like, all right. I mean, they killed us, Pete, so we can do it. I know there's some that people already want to see. No, you didn't miss any of them yet, Jedi. We've got them all coming up right now. But feel free, shout it out in the chat. We will go through things. I will start off.
Which one do you want to pick first?
I want to pick his first. I want to pick his first. And it actually makes me really happy when I went back and started finding out, like after Y and stuff. You know, you start looking at like all the stuff he can do, right? Like all the books he's ever did. And one that made me really happy that he did is because if you've ever known me, list long enough to it, one of the series that I love the best out of X-Men and out of Marvel is Age of Apocalypse. And he did
that's why you want to put this one in here.
Well, it was also his first thing, right? Like, so like Tales from, that was like his earliest. He hit it. It was one of two. There was 2 books.
Yeah, there was 2 issues.
And he did the second one. He got a lot. He got Blinks in there. He had gotten Morph was in there. Actually, he had a lot of the characters. He had a bunch of the characters from. He even did Cyclops when Cyclops was bad. He did a lot of the there's a lot of X. So he had a lot of individual team members that came in there. Externals, Excalibur, and he did a pretty good job. And it was a long run, so I actually was pretty happy about that. With that being said, I don't think any of us is going to S. I know I said I was going to S tier everything. I don't think anybody's going to S tier Tales from the Age of Apocalypse.
I am a fan of that storyline. The Age of Apocalypse was, again, I'm with you. Maybe it's because we're near the same age, but it just it hits me in a place that just makes me smile when I think of that.
Everything's hitting you in a place, Pete. You've been reading too much Brian K. Vaughan. We'll get into it later with all the hitting in places, but I think honestly, nostalgia factor probably is S, but I think realistically, probably as far as the titles, you have them at B. Is that where you're putting it?
That's where I was going to put it. You can argue. I'm not stuck to that, but I'm just kind of in that range because
you hit exactly where I was going to say.
I know we shouldn't look ahead, but I'm kind of looking ahead at other things.
No, I mean, the nostalgia would have got to S for me, but like realistically, the Age of Apocalypse, that's where.
And it was only 2 issues.
It was him, but he only did 2. I think he did the second issue. I don't even think he did the first, and it was a summary, like it was a summary issue.
Oh, was it? He did the second issue.
It wasn't like a whole huge run and stuff. So with that being said, we give it there. All right, next up. Wait, chat.
Yeah, we got and Tiger Fett, Marv.
All right, cool. You keep me honest on the chat. Okay, this is an interesting one that I want people's opinion on. I really do want chat's opinion on this. This is Pride of Baghdad, which they say is based on a true story. Which, if you've read Pride of Baghdad, for those people who haven't read Pride of Baghdad, we'll just call it Pride. Okay.
Yeah, just call it Pride.
Easy. Pride is a story of a group of lions. It's seen through the eyes of the lions for 99% of the book, except for the last 3 pages. These lions are in a zoo. They are in a zoo in Baghdad. And as the bombings happen to Iraq, they get out of the zoo and they start going around.
Freed.
They don't get freed. It blows up. I mean, a bomb creates a hole. They get out and then they go and they fight. And there's a lot of he uses a lot of situations to kind of give him a humane feeling. Probably stories he had heard from the time period about
anthropomorphic kind of thing.
Yeah, like all of a sudden there's like a big gorilla and there's stuff that comes back and forth, and there's even some of the lines that they use in it are very like he humanizes these human, because that almost sounds like you're killing him, but he makes more human, right? In the area. And in the end, the true part of the story is that there were lions that were in the zoo of Baghdad, the Baghdad Zoo, and they got out, and U.S. soldiers saw lions coming at them, so they killed the lions. Like, that's the true part of the story. The rest of the whole story is kind of just like insight into a war zone through, quote unquote, the eyes of a lion and a tiger.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't say based on the true story from a lion's perspective. Like, well, I interviewed the lions.
No,
like,
I know. But I thought it was a clever way.
Yeah.
I thought it was a clever way to explain what was going on during that time period, especially when they wrote it, and especially without, I don't know, not being too preachy and not, like sometimes people get on their high horses about stuff, and other times people like shy too far away from the point of what they're trying to make. And he didn't either. I mean, the end was a little corny-ish, unfortunately, when he's like, based on a true story. Yeah, these 4 lions died. Like, yeah, bro, we all get it. Like, but I thought it was pretty good. I think it still probably would hold up today. Oh man, I see all this too. I want to put it in A. I really do.
Yes. Well, this is why I let you go for the most part, is because I'm with Sticks and I'm with Tiger Fett that I didn't pick this one up.
You guys should. I mean, you should pick it up. It's good. It's definitely a different scene
because it came out. It's like just a straight up graphic novel, right?
Yeah. It's like a thing. Yeah.
It wasn't like a floppy. So that's the thing. I don't usually buy too many trades or straight to graphic.
I mean, among K Vaughn collectors, like it's a thing. Like it's a big.
Oh yeah, I think wasn't this nominated for?
Yeah. He definitely won off of it. Like this is for us. Like this.
If he didn't win, I don't even know he could have won. But I remember
did. It's not like a grail, but it's like it's something that was like, oh, when you mention his hit list, when you mention his tops, this is at the top all the time. Like for I don't know what we call it, Vaughn heads or whatever. Like this is it. I mean, this is one of his key books. So, man, it might even be S, but I'm the only person apparently that yes, it is better than Ghost in the Darkness. Yes. But Ghost in the Darkness, he is also right. Ghost in the Darkness is S tier Val Kilmer. So
that was pretty good Val Kilmer.
I mean, I would argue this could be S tier, but I that's why I was going to chat. I guess no in chat. It's fine. I mean, all right,
well, we can put it up there if you want.
Put it up there.
You're relying on the chat to talk you down because no one else is going to argue with you.
All right, what's up next then?
Marv's guessing an A, but admittedly,
no, it's fair, guys. You should get out there and read it though. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Yeah, pick it up. I suggest you do. Yeah, okay. See, I can't pick any of these because I'm just like SS. All right, here we'll do this. The Buffy, when he did his Buffy run. I mean, Buffy looked really sexy in this, and it was done all right. And
he did the Faith run, right? He got to bring Faith in.
But he also did I think he did 2 runs in this. So I'm trying to remember.
He might have, but this is the one that came up when I was looking.
Well, I mean, look, Buffy Faith is it's not my style, right? Like I like it because it's K-Vaughn, but like of K-Vaughn stuff, I would say his Buffy run. If we're ranking on his stuff, maybe that's how we should do it.
We gotta have to.
We kind of have to. Okay, if that's what we're doing, then put it in C. I mean, I'm putting in.
This is his stuff. We got to put it amongst his things.
Okay, amongst his C. You know, nothing's hitting the trash can then, because like he doesn't make trash. Well, one thing might make trash. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to argue with that because it was okay. Like, I don't know, it was weird. I watched all 7 seasons of Buffy.
Yeah, you can't get my opinion on Buffy. Yeah,
and this was, season 8 is when they brought it to comics, but it was okay. But I just wasn't thrilled with the entire thing. But some of these things do well. Like, I think it's like season 12 is if you find them in the store, to go pick them up because they're hard to find.
So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to put this one up here so we can discuss it real quickly. The Escapist. Now, he didn't do, it wasn't a ton, it was what it was. It wasn't his character or whatever. He did a run on it. Though I'll give the Escapist this. They had some great variant covers, or the great covers, I mean.
Yeah, some good covers. Like regulars. Cassidy, I think, did a cover, and James John, who did all the Fables.
James John cover. Yeah, you're right. James John did a cover on it. Besides that, it's not, the superhero type of. It reminds me a lot of that era where you're doing Dark Horse stuff. Or what did you think the book was too? Like we couldn't remember the publisher.
I was thinking it was Dynamite. I thought it was like one of those like
almost
Dynamite characters,
like Thief and Lock or whatever, stuff like that.
No, like the other ones, like the ones that did Alex Ross did the covers, like with the dude with the sickle, like the Grim Reaper type character, and then I can't remember, like the weird Dynamite run. That's what I was thinking it was from. Because admittedly, I didn't read The Escapists. I can only think of, you know what? That's what this is from.
What?
I figured it out. The Escapists. This is the comic that they based off of Michael Chabon's novel. Yes, that's what this is from.
That is exactly.
I didn't even read it from across the top. Now I remember, because he wrote a fictional novel. A dude who wrote like Wonder Boys, which I do like that movie, and then that book's all right too. But
I don't know.
I get it now. That's what this is from.
But as far as his works, it was 6 in. Okay, so he introduces it. It's not really his, I wouldn't say marquee work, right? Like, it's probably one people forget. I'm trying not to put it in D, is what I'm saying.
Well, you're gonna have to fight Tigerfit.
But you love the novel. Did you like the comic adaptation of it? That's what I'm asking. All right. Well,
Mars, right? Yeah, that was a Frank Miller on the cover. I think on that number 1.
Yeah. All right. I mean, with the covers that he gives it, maybe.
See, again, it took me a while to even figure out what the character was from.
Give it to Fat. You can give it to Fat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never argue putting his stuff up higher. I'm just trying to rank
this one down.
I'm trying to rank it among his stuff. You know what I mean? Among the stuff that I enjoy of his that I read. And to be honest with you, wasn't my favorite read. That's all I'm going to say on that one. I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying not one of my favorite reads. Speaking of a read that you don't actually like, but I actually thought was pretty decent, and we both buy this all the time for different reasons. Maybe for the cover artist on this one, but
Mystique. I didn't say I disliked it. I was just saying that I only think of this run because of the covers. You got the Linzer covers from 1 through 6, and then you got Mayhew just has a great run. I think I don't even know if he goes the rest of the. He might go the rest of the way, because this goes like 19 or the 20s or something like that. But he wrote the first 13.
Like, this is the assassin runs. I always think about it, right? Like, which is what she's supposed to be. Like, sometimes they made her like so weird, right? Like, they made her Destiny's lover. They made her Rogue's mom. They made her.
Yeah, they have. Well, they also try to argue it in the same way they do Wolverine. We can tell all kinds of stories. She's been around a while, so we can make her anything we want and just say, well, she spent a few years doing this.
It was more of the assassin run type thing. I liked it.
It was like spy. Like I also got like a spy vibe too.
Yeah. But I mean, with that being said, like I like it, but I also, you're right. I buy him for two reasons. The stories I thought were decent. Like they're B-ish stories, and I like it because of the covers, which I would consider A covers on it. So
covers, I get a cover bump off of these.
I mean, that's kind of the same way that I felt like when he argued for the B for externals. Like I'm like, yeah, but like the cover bump, like okay, I'll give it because of the cover bump. I had a CD cover bump, all right, from Vet, yeah, and that's kind of, oh, you're leaving in B, huh? So you had it like C and then cover bumped it to B. Okay, I was cover bumping it to. I'm different.
Oh, you were cover bumping it to C.
I'm cover bumping it from B to A. You're cover bumping it from C to B. Is this what we're saying?
Yeah. Because I'm trying not to base it just off the covers, because we're talking about the writer, not the covers. And even though you portrayed it as I hated this, it's not that I hated it. I just that was a secondary function for me for these books. I bought them for the covers, read them, but it was just like, I just bought it for cover.
We can keep it in the B's then. All right,
we can do an A if you want. Anybody want to weigh in?
That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna give it to B. We're not giving cover bumps. All right, see how it goes. All right. Next up is, please tell me somebody made a comment, give a cover bump. I cover bump that.
But it didn't say it to where.
Eric, I'd cover bump that.
I think you're just doing a play on words.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of funny. It's kind of funny. That's why, Eric, that's why we love you. Do good stuff. All right, so now that you've ruined that, I'm trying to get an A comic in here. So I'm going to slide this one in here real quickly. And now I'm not going to, because it might be S. See, this is where I'm having trouble. Like,
don't have trouble. Just throw them out there. I'm not planning this out.
The Hood. It was.
There's not too much to say about this one, right?
It was a max. It's a good book.
That's what I mean. I'm not gonna.
It's A or S. I mean, I don't know what to do with it because it's.
I'm kind of in that same plate. That's where I was kind of with you. Like it is A or S.
Like when you think Marvel, and I hate to do this, but like when you think of his Marvel stuff, right? It's really comes
Marvel stuff. This is probably my.
There's two Marvel stuff. There's two. When it comes to Marvel, it's Runaways and Hood. Like that's it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. I forgot about Runaways for a second.
Like that's far and above Runaway and Hood. And Hood, I mean, that's the problem. I like, Hood was a mini, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't it like 6 or 8 or something like that? It was a mini.
This first one was 6, and then there was another, like a Dark Reign the Hood, that was like 5, but he didn't write that.
Yeah, the max run that he did was a mini, which cover bump or bulge. Wait, what's going on? They're still talking. We're behind on things. So cover bump or bulge. Yeah,
there's a lag between the chats.
Yeah. Wait, you guys got to say, after you say A, you have to say what book you're talking about. Are you talking about Hood? A good story, not a fan of the art. Or
was it, who did the art on this? Was it? I need to see that again. Bring up the overlay again.
Bring it back up.
I can't place that. It's got like a little bit like Rizzo. No, that's is it? No, it's not Carrie Andrews. Doesn't look like him.
Either way, I mean, if they're saying A, I'm at S. Okay, so they are giving it an A. I guess they're gonna give it an A then. Wow,
I'm fine with the A. I could be talked into the S, but I also know just when you mention Runaways, like I know there's still some high candidates out there.
I do too, but Hood was all as good as Runaways in my opinion. But you know what? You want to know why? Once again, I'm a sucker for minis. So like,
well, yeah, I'm a fan of minis as well. I like a story that has an ending.
I'm a sucker for minis, so that's my fault. I know not everybody is, but all right, it is. The chat took it. They all gave it A's, so we're gonna leave it at the A's, I guess.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm not gonna argue. We can always reevaluate at the end.
All right, here's one I'm gonna argue. Okay, Doc Ock, or Doc Strange, the Oath. Doc Strange, the Oath. C. C. All day a C. It's the definition of a C. It's a comic.
Yeah. Since we added trash in there, now C and B are in the middle. So now it's at a high end C, a high end middle, which is a B, or a low end middle.
Well, okay. So I have subcategorized these things
You know me. I'm always rethinking it and reshuffling it. I have subcategories these now. I'm ranking his Marvel runs. And there's another Marvel run that is going D because I refuse to put anything in the trash. But I'm telling you, so what I'm saying is like, because
I'm not going to argue with the C though.
Because this is above that, I'm giving it the C. That's the only reason it's getting the C. Because the next one, and I'll throw it up. Maybe we should do this by. Oh no, we got 2. Oh man, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, we do that.
Oh, we got a couple more now. But this one right here, the Doc Ock run. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I see this one in those cheap bins all the time too.
Vaughn, my man. Let's talk real quick, Brian. You shouldn't have done it. Put that in D. Put it in D.
I'm not going to argue that. Yeah, because even before we started, remember we were going like, "What did you put in the tier list?" And I'm like, "Well, it's like this. I did stuff that where he did like runs, like these were minis, so he did the whole thing." So
one of these faces. One of these faces. One of these faces. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. If we're gonna continue with it though, our faces aren't gonna get much better.
Yeah, some of these are gonna be down there because they're just not great. Again,
okay, this one though. I thought this was kind of. It wasn't. See, this is why I think Hood was S, right? Like they came around the same time. Hood was far better than this, but Chamber wasn't a bad.
Any of
the
that
whole run. The Icons run wasn't bad, period. But the Chamber one was like it wasn't terrible.
Think about it. Chamber, he got to take the reins off because he got to do Max, whereas Icons and he's doing X characters. He's limited, but it's gotta be PG. Like you gotta rein in your ideas. And we know where he's going to go with some of his crazy ass ideas because you got a whole segment coming up later.
One. Yeah. Okay. I give it to you. I mean, but it was more like the Runaway style in Icons than it was when he was going with Max with Hood. So I would say B-ish maybe. How does it go in Comic Journey?
I'm not in love with the Icon stuff. I mean, I'm not going to argue over B or C, but that's kind of just where I'm at.
I think it's better. The problem is I think it's better than Oath. It's definitely better than Doc. It's definitely better than the next 2 that I'm going to throw up because we got another D. We have another D coming. We got another. I'm guaranteeing another D on the way. I'm guaranteeing another D on the way.
Chamber
sucks. Okay. Well, yeah. But how's the character sucks? But all right. So what were you putting at B or C now?
I was just kind of that B or C range.
Okay. Well, I'm in B, and Comic Journey apparently has a sucking, so let's put it in C, I guess.
Well, no, I don't know if he's saying this title sucks or just the character in general.
Yeah, I mean the character wasn't good. I thought he did a decent job with it. I'm against this at this point, but I think if you put it in B, you have to put Hood into S. So like, I mean, the chat's kind of taken away with it. F, it can't be an F. Oof. Oof. Dude, the Vaughn run cannot be a comic. The Vaughn run cannot be an F, dude. There's no way.
It's amongst his own books, though.
Yeah.
Don't compare it to other books. Don't say, well, a Vaughn book is still better than,
Vaughn book's better than a lot of books.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Liefeld book. Icons, here we go.
Liefeld doesn't really write, does he? He more just parrots.
He traces characters, but forgets.
Yeah, he parrots storyline ideas and characters.
And then people have to take over and make them popular. Yeah.
This character.
All right, so here's another Icons 104, and it's.
I'm gonna make him red and black instead of orange and blue.
Can you believe that Mark Teixeira? Yeah, right. He's still gonna be an assassin though. I wish people would actually
not even gonna change his last name.
All right. I wish people. Yeah, I wish people would actually read those books side by side.
But that's not what we're doing.
And then go and read the real Deadpool that was done 10 or 8 years later after they got rid of Ra. After they get rid of Ra. Yeah. Speaking of stuff. All right. Cyclops 1 through 4. Part of the Icons of 4.
Yeah, these icons, I'm telling you, I see these icons in those dollar bins all the time too.
Like that's why I think Chamber was so good that they gave him Cyclops, and even they had Mark Teixeira on this.
Yeah. I don't think it was a good marriage.
Remember when I was talking about D's? That's a D, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't care for this one.
The title and character.
I know you dislike the character as a whole.
Not all the time. I mean, obviously he was he was kind of a centerpiece of the Age of Apocalypse stuff that he got up. No, we're doing Brian K. Vaughan stuff. We're just going through the.
He just happened to do a lot of X stuff.
Yeah,
apparently.
we just we're going through the Marvel run just to make it easier. So, and yeah, I mean, this is still early on in his career for doing X stuff. So, all right, there's a couple more.
There's still a couple more with X. Yeah, we got 2 more X's.
We got this one, not bad. The Logan comics run with the Marvel Knights. See, that's why I think when they unreleased them, let them do stuff like with Marvel Knights, and when they got to do the Max stuff, is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean, it wasn't.
Again, I still see this in those cheap boxes too. But
well, this is the thing. Just as you said with Mystique, they did the same thing on him twice. So they told him like, it's Logan. Go ahead and do any story you want with him because you can do whatever you want with him because he just does. He's around forever. So they did. He did that. I mean,
well, he got Rizzo to work with him, so which. Not too bad for the art. It's just
A tier. Oh, okay. He's not.
Huh? I was just gonna go B.
Comic says the Cyclops is not D. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go back and read that. Okay, you know what, comic? I'll go back and read that mini, and I'll decide if it's not D. But I think if I recall correctly, it was D tier.
It's only kind of crappy.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I put it. I think that runs with the Mystique thing. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I was with the B. That's where I was at with the Logan, the Logan bit.
Yeah, and you can find them in there for a reason. I don't know. All right. Anyways,
yeah, no, you can. They're in the dollar. You granted, you might get them banged up because it doesn't have that glossy like cardstock kind of cover. So if the in cheap boxes gets it jacked up a bit.
These are good books to read. I mean, honestly, well, I love them. So like, I think they're good books that you can read. Ultimate X-Men. Sorry, Ultimate X-Men 46 through 60.
Yeah, this is about the time I was just like, why am I still buying it? It's nothing against Vaughn. I just started getting tired of the Ultimate Universe at this point. Personally, like at first it was kind of exciting. Oh, hey, we're getting new tales, new stories of the X-Men and Spidey. Oh, it's kind of fun. And the Avengers, like, oh, and then I'm just like, they're just still giving me the old stories again. That's all you guys are doing, but you're trying to tweak them a little bit, and I'm not loving your tweaks. Like,
agreed. I would say
this is where I would say
it's because they're not bad. It's not
bad, but
yeah, okay, yeah, I can live with that. I was on the fence between B and C, and
yeah,
I was trying to think of that. It's such a weird predicament because it was like. It's a weird part in Ultimates too.
Because again, that's right. I'm just telling you, I'm with Sticks.
Yeah, and it was during it was 40 through 65. I was trying to think if there was anything good during, but it was during the stale part. Yeah, see, all right, Tiger Fett. Yep.
Yeah, and it's not his fault because I'm pretty sure they told him we need you to adapt this story. This like, we got to go through with this. This is the chunk that you get.
All right, so we're gonna go. If this Marvel book doesn't get S tier, I don't know what we're doing wrong. The Runaways. He did
volume 1.
Volume 1?
Oh, just about all of volume 2, apart from the fact that Whedon took over.
And I think when Whedon took over, it was not as good.
No, it definitely changed like the tone.
I think they should have ended it at like 12. I'll be honest with you. I think they should have ended it at volume 2, number like 14. Should have been the Dunzo or 16, somewhere around there. With this.
Yeah, and I've tried to get the subsequent series since, but it's just not the same.
No, it isn't. No, the Runaways will never be the same. He was defining of those characters, and it is how they should be written. Unfortunately,
did you watch the show?
I watched some of it, and then I forgot that it was.
I didn't even try because I just felt like it's not gonna capture what. I'll tell you, like when the Runaways first came out, I loved it. Like I was in. Like when he was writing it, I was in, and then like you said, like eventually it got a little stale.
Well, you could tell he was turning it
away from Vaughn, and I'm like, or not took it away, but he ended like, and I'm like,
well,
I'm not.
That's when he was transitioning to do his own work too. I
think. Exactly. So it wasn't the same. His heart wasn't there. I don't know.
Either way, I think what we got to put it S. Is anybody got? Nobody can argue that's S tier.
I'm not gonna.
It's an iconic run, and he did it. And it's iconic for Marvel.
I'm a fan.
Man, I can't believe Hood's an A. All right, but it's the lone A, so there we go. All right, so that completes our Marvel section of him. So now we got to switch over to the Detective Comics, which I got to say...
it's 3 issues. Like, it wasn't a huge run.
Yeah, I mean, the Batman stuff and...
I'm just kind of in that meh.
Is anybody going to get this out of D, I guess, is what I'm asking. Can anybody get the Batman stuff out of D?
I feel like it was just a paycheck kind of thing. It's like, all right, I'll tell this one little story.
There you go. Comic Journey got it right. Hold it real quickly about Runaways. It started at S, like it was, and then ended at A. So I think we got to get it S. You liked Tiger Fett liked other books better than Runaways. Okay. Maybe the independent stuff. But as far as that, I mean, that era, that time. Yeah, so Batman, I think Batman, it was a cheap run.
I'm not gonna argue.
They kind of tried him out. And like I think they were putting him on that Batman run because another run that he did, and he was getting hot point, right? Like he was the hottest thing out there.
It's not complete, but it is most. Like after this, you're just getting one-offs and like single issues.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Like you realize, well, we'll get there.
Yeah,
but,
this Batman run gets an A. No, I think it gets a C. I'm sorry, Comic Journey. I mean, it might even get a D because it.
No,
did
I don't think he's saying it gets an A. Isn't that a person throwing up?
No, money.
Is that money? I thought it was a vomiting guy.
No. It was. We should have done the other one first. I
was just indifferent.
Yeah, D.
Whether you go D, C, like I just
D it because, and this is why I think you have to kind of do the same thing. You have to rank it against his Swamp
Thing. It's against his own work. So
I think you have to rank it against his Swamp Thing run, which, like, to be honest, you got Win, right? And people are going to kill me for this, but I think the second best run for Swamp Thing, Vaughn can put his hat in there. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking top 3, I mean, he could do it. You know, that's around the Vertigo times. You know what I mean? Like he can do. And now there's one more Vertigo book that blows it out of the water.
He's not. Yeah. Well, you're saying for Swamp. Well, I don't know. Swamp Thing. You've got obviously more, but.
Okay, I'm not a big Moore fan. So, yeah, I mean, like, well, so you still got him in 3, right? So you got Win and you got Moore and you got him. I mean, that's, and the only reason I'll say it is because, like,
who else?
Some of the stuff you did, some of the other stuff you did, like, there seemed like a lot of people were trying to copy what Win did.
Who else had a run on there? Was it?
No,
Ennis didn't, did he?
No,
not Ennis.
But he did in the Dark Justice.
Millar had a run. That's who I was.
Which wasn't that good.
Or Miller. I think it's Miller. I still read it as Millar because it's a goddamn A. So I.
Either way, the point being, like, I think when you look at it, like, there's the Swamp Thing, Man Thing combination with if you know, like, that's kind of how you see the character, right? Like 89 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like House of Saga. And I think Vaughn got that feeling. And then you get the Moore version of it where it's like, that's not the version I like of Swamp Thing. Let me put it that way. I've never liked it written like that.
Yeah, well, Moore's version was most of it was not really so much even about Swamp Thing. It was
yeah. But then it's like a shadow. Yeah. So like
I want to tell a story and we're gonna put Swamp Thing in it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so there we go. Was not horrible. Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
How do you say it's not a C? How do you say it's not Comic Journey? Swamp Thing was not horrible. I have it at an A. No, that's not an A. It can be C or B, but it cannot be an A at not horrible.
Yeah, you got to lead in with a little bit better than it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. Okay, no, not an A. So I have it as C. I mean, like I said, it's not.
I'm not going to argue that
it's not iconic. He did get a big run on it, and then it also led to one other thing that we'll mention here, which is probably because this is technically, you know what I mean, like. Hold on, I'm trying to clear up the things I get to it. So I double checking. Yes, it is the only DC title he had. And here we go. S tier. For Vertigo, he did Y the Last Man. And I think that is the reason why he is, it's why. Like, it's why The Last Man. It's S tier. If you don't know why The Last Man is S tier.
His longest run.
Yeah, it was huge. I will say this about why The Last Man.
60 issues. 60 issues was his longest.
I will say this about that. It should have been 50 issues. There's about 10 issues too many in there. And I'm not saying on the back end. I'm not saying on the back. What's that?
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. There's a couple you could probably pull out.
Yeah, I'm not saying on the back end there's 10 too many. I'm just saying within it, there's a couple you could pull out of it. Well, maybe 5. It's probably 5 issues too long. So either way, but I don't think anybody can argue that's an S tier book. Like it is, it's what made it. S++, Feck is S++. Start a fire, but pretty much sucked toward the end.
You can do the same with a lot of like the Vertigo books like that. You can go like, you know what? It was just a hair too long. Like Preacher. Like it was just a hair too long. Like it just would have.
I don't think it sucked at the end. It was
it wasn't to your point.
No, Comic Dirty said it did, but I think there's a couple points there where they were trying to figure out the cloning thing. And kind of, take 1 or 2 of those out. And you added in 1 extra character you didn't need to, but SS+. Good. Yes, I think everybody says it's SS. Even Comic says started off pretty much stuck towards the end, but that's the best we can get out of it. That's the best we can get out of it. So there's S. Okay, S is across the board. Okay, let me delete these 2 DC books. DC is done.
Next, we've got Image Wildstorm.
I guess.
And then the Weird publication
was X was Wildstorm, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wildstorm Ex Machina. Very controversial in the world of Vaughn. It is either people say this is S tier or they say it's C tier.
Just to ease your mind.
Thank you. Yes. This I'd be more happy if you spoke in on this. So Ex Machina, it's a weird concept. I think too it was kind of touchy with people because there's the part where he stopped the second tower from coming down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why people either put it at the seat, like there's always been it's been a little bit of decisive.
I hear what you're saying.
I think it's probably an A.
That's where I was going to put it.
I actually don't have it as an S tier.
A because I did enjoy it. Like I wasn't bothered by how he became a hero.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like this book is very decisive. It's a very decisive book. Like I always thought Pride was going to be his most decisive books. Looking back on it, but X really became Ex Machina. I always say it wrong. I just refer to it as X. X really became
Machina. Deus Ex Machina.
It pretty much is a guy who it's a guy who becomes a superhero. Was he mayor or something?
He ended up becoming mayor. It was kind of had like a bit of a.
Because he can talk to machines and he can travel in time. And he went back and he saved the falling of one of the 2 towers, and that's what made him a hero. It's interesting. Once again,
it did lose a little steam. I'll agree.
That's what I'll. Yeah.
That's why I'm with the A. It's because
I thought it lost. So like when I say that, like Runaways lost a little steam. No, Runaways you could tell was ending, and he had to hand it off to somebody else. When I say the same thing about,
it's like I think he wanted to end it, and then they're like, no, we'll let somebody else write it. He's like, okay, well then I'll just bridge the gap. What do they want to do?
When I say that Y could lose 5 books, okay, that's just a artistic difference. X lost steam. It was like the fucking Walking Dead, where it's like, okay, bro, like you just should have done
enough
it.
Is enough.
Yeah, enough's enough. You should have ended it. So yeah, all right, cool. Everybody, Tiger Fett says too, it lost steam.
Yeah, but it was I still really did like it. Like the
I
start.
think A's a good place. A's a good spot for that.
Yeah, I think that's a solid place for it. So what do you want to put up next?
I'm gonna put up
5 left. 5 left. 5 more options.
Man, there's some.
Well, we got a couple of.
There's some straight up bangers. Let's go a little bit of controversial, I guess. This book, Barrier. No, you know what? Okay, we'll do it. Barrier, which originally showed up on. So for those that didn't know,
webcomic, right?
Yeah, for those that didn't know, there's a book that's prior to this, which is one of the hidden gems of Brian K. Vaughan stuff. But Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos
Martin.
Is that who did the other one? I think it was.
I think it was.
They started a website, and it was a pay what you want. So you could pay $0 up to whatever you wanted, and they'd come out every week or whatever it was. Every time there's one done, they'd give it out. They came out with Barrier, was the second book that was on that site. I don't even think that site's around anymore. It kind of was the same concept that we were talking about, that one site where they're going to have all these comic book guys go and do web comics.
Not Short Stack. That's Pancake.
Yeah, something like that.
Substack.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing of Substack, but like you actually could pay $0 and still read the stuff. So like with the next book that we're going to do, the first one that they had in it, I actually read them all and then paid him at the end, like gave him $120 because it's that good. And then he was never going to put it out, but we'll talk about that more. But this one, the only problem with it is my Spanish is rusty as shit.
I don't speak Spanish. My dumb ass decided to take German in high school instead because I liked the teacher, and it has not helped me in the slightest.
Rennavision.
Spanish would have been beneficial to like.
Renna, you don't speak any Spanish.
No.
Okay, well,
half Italian, half Filipino, so no.
Everybody here who takes
a lot of
German,
Filipino is kind of Spanish based.
How did they let you take? This is my wife is the same way. She took German. I said nobody. What? Why? Like of our age,
the German teacher was my homeroom teacher freshman year, and I liked him. Herr Fertig.
Okay. Anyways, you should take Spanish. My Spanish by this time was abysmal. I can hardly read it anymore. I can still swear like a drunken sailor in it.
Yeah, my entire Spanish repertoire comes from the Taco Bell menu.
That's most of the stuff on there is not Spanish at all.
I know, but
okay. All right. So, anyways, so that was the problem with it, and it was a sideways book that was enormous when they pushed it out.
And it didn't fit in regular bags and boards. You had to use a magazine bag and board, but yet there was so much space on the sides.
Wow, this is arrogance. As far as arrogant could go, you had at the time two hot selling comic books because he had Paper Girls and he had Saga ongoing at the same time. Yep. He just came off of Private Eyes, which was the first book in the series that was really good and a home run. And then you decided to go artsy fartsy. And for artsy fartsy, we give you a D, bro. D.
I didn't like it. It just I got nothing against artsy fartsy. Like I watch some weird ass artsy fartsy movies because they're artsy fartsy.
David, good to see you. David speaks Spanish too. Taco Bell is Spanish for diarrhea.
It's still worth it. It's still worth. You guys want us to tier list fast food places?
We can do that. We can do tier list fast food places. Maybe when we do maybe we should do that. All right, Sideway books suck. Yes, we agree. I took German too because the teacher was great. Okay.
Yeah. See, sometimes that plays a factor.
It does, Dave. David, it does. I'm kicking myself now because we've got a lot of Spanish friends, and all I ever do is swear at them. I mean, I can understand it, so like, there's that. All right,
this thing even messes up our little layout here because it's sideways.
It's so disappointing. Like if there was one that had an option to go to the trash, that probably would have been the one. Either way. Next up, no, don't do it.
It annoyed me.
Okay, there it is. So we put something in the trash. That's fine. No, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It should be trash. It is. You're right. It should be in the trash. I
get the idea. I like the idea.
No,
like with they can't communicate, but I just didn't care for it. Like it was a great idea. I don't even want to say the execution was poor. It's just overall, it's just like, well, the idea was just so much better than
it was arrogance on the extent of ignorance. So yeah, there you go.
I'm fine with it there.
Yeah. See, he says that.
Yeah.
So that's what you get. You get that arrogant. You end up going. I mean, I'm sorry, but
I'm changing the game.
Okay. No, you didn't. But this is what's stuck because Private Eyes. If you guys haven't ever read The Private Eye, like
that's why I'm out. I didn't know about this book, but
it's fucking amazing. It's absolutely brilliant. The art's brilliant.
I remember.
I like Martin. I don't know how you say his name. Yeah, the proper pronunciation. I'm a fan of the artist. I'm a fan of the writer. What's like the give us the premise?
Okay,
I have no idea.
It's a dystopia, and you know how I love those things.
All right,
it's one of those. So this is what happens. Right?
Okay.
Technology is pretty much banned. It's like fuck it. Like only the old people now. Like you see this old man trying to get back on his Apple. Like there's no more internet. There's no more none of that shit. And the journalists are also the private dicks, and they go in and there's a killing going on, and then it turns out that they find out that like it's all a scam really anyways, and that there are people that have.
You froze in the middle of the story. We never have internet issues. Or did I freeze? This happened last time. I'm not sure who froze. In the chat, tell us who froze if you hear me. Marco froze. Okay, so you guys are just staring at me sitting here by myself. All right, I'm loud because this happened last time. I'm the one who dropped. I think I was talking and then nobody was hearing me, but now Marco's midstream telling a story and he's the frozen one. Oh, there he goes. Hopefully he pops back in because he's the only one who can tell us about Private Eye because, like I said, I didn't read it. I didn't even know it existed because it's one of those weird, again, the weird internet thing. I didn't do the internet thing. It's not a fan of reading. I do go and I'll flip through some things online as far as comic books go, just because it's easier and it's easier to pull the images for what I do in presenting like the stuff like on YouTube. But outside of that, I like the physical, tactile sensation of reading a comic in my hand. So if it's not a physical book, I go, maybe I'll get around to it. But Marco threw this one in last minute. Like we had 20 books. I had 20. I was like, I thought we were all set. He threw that Tales of Apocalypse that I missed, and he threw this Private Eye book in here. And I was like, I don't know about this Private Eye book, so you got to cover it. And now he's the only one who can speak to it, and he's not here. Isn't that the way things go? I'm just going to take a look to see if he sent me a message. I know this is not entertaining YouTubes for you guys live. Power's out back in a sec. Oh, power's out. That's not going to be good. If we need to take a pause from this, which I feel like we might, because if his power's out, it might take him like a couple of minutes. I can shift. What we're going to pivot to then, while he is doing that, is I'm going to show you guys, since it's my little list, the top 5 list. I was going to do top 5 variants on a budget, but surprisingly, well, at least to me, it was surprising. There was no variants for me to show. There was straight up no variants for me to show. So I couldn't use that. I looked, I tried. That was like one Ultimate X-Men. It was like a Wizard World book, like issue 50. And I'm like, that's it. Like, that's all I got. And other than that, I would be showing you guys Saga second prints and third prints for number 1 and number 5. So I said, you know what? We're not just going to do that. We're not even going to do covers because Brian K. Vaughan's a writer, so I can't base it around it being, a cover because he's the writer. So ultimately, I just decided I'm going to give you the top 5 comics from Brian K. Vaughan, but this is focused in on the properties that are either adapted or optioned. So that's the criteria I had set for this. So it's not just every book, but things that have been adapted already, are currently being adapted, will be adapted, are optioned to possibly be adapted. That's what we're looking at. So, oh yeah, the Logan has a few sketch covers, but yeah, those are still in the dollar bin too. I'm like, well, it's not great. Like that Logan book, that Logan number 1, like there's a sketch version. It's all white instead of being all black. Basically, it's all white. I'm not a fan when it's just that. That's not a variant to me. That's just an alternate. It's like an alternate uniform. Anyway, my top 5 comics for the adapted or soon-to-be adapted option properties for Brian K. Vaughan. We're going to go with something we just talked about, and we put it in the A. This Ex Machina, because this was optioned to be a movie through Legendary, I believe, is the production company. Because Legendary, he made a larger deal with Legendary. I think they basically bought most of his ideas, that he can possibly produce content out of his works, through Legendary Pictures. And Legendary, I think they're tied in with they've done a lot of good stuff. They did 300 way back in the day. I think it was one of the first things I remember seeing, that Legendary title. But Ex Machina used to be like a huge book. I remember that, not huge, but I do remember seeing copies of selling for 30 to 40, $50 even at times. But recently I had seen one sold for $16.50 at auction, which is why it's coming in our last spot at number 5. So $16.50 at 4 bids at auction. So I still feel like this one got snuck a little under the radar, because I think listed copies are still in that like $30 range. So somebody snuck one, but I still have to count it. So that's why it's coming in at number 5 for our purposes here, or my purposes here. And moving on to the next book. This is one that I don't have still. I'm a fan of Runaways. But what are you shaking your head? You're dancing.
Oh, well.
I just don't have Runaways number 1. I thought I did, but I can't find it. So I don't have it. If I can't find it, I don't know where it is. I don't have it. So I got to get one. It was like 50 to like $80 forever. But now, I guess now that the Hulu thing already ran, I guess the interest has kind of waned and faded. So prices are down. I think I could probably get mine, because auction $20. So I'm going to go looking again. If I can get one for $20, I'm all in, because, again, I'm a fan of Runaways. I need this to complete my run, my personal collection. But I didn't feel like paying like $80 for one raw. That's just not normally what I do, especially when it's just something for run filling. Like, I don't care if I find this in a $1 box, like beat the hell. Like, I'm happy if I find it for $1, because I just want it for myself. Yeah, maybe I don't need it, but I still want it. Next up, I will still get this one. I got this a few times when you find in those cheap boxes, is Paper Girls, because I do like this run. It's like, Goonies for girls. And then it gets really weird, but definitely an interesting series. And I think this might gain some steam once it actually hits Amazon Prime. If people start watching this, which is possible. I mean, a lot of people watched Invincible. I didn't think an animated Invincible show was going to do that well, but it apparently does have, a lot of fans, which is good, because I'd like to see more animated content like that. More like not kiddie animation. I don't want to say adult, because when you get to like adult animation, you start thinking like the whole hentai thing that we always bust Marco's balls about. But yeah, just not kiddie animation I'm into. But if more people can watch Prime Video with the boys and whatnot, I could be into a Paper Girls show. I was just busting you for hentai again. But this one, this Paper Girls, again, it's doing better, because $44 ain't too shabby these days for this thing.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gone up. I mean, this was like $15 to $20 for like forever. Mm-hmm. And yeah, 44 is not too bad. But I think it's still got room if the show hits.
There's a ton of Paper Girls out there, by the way.
There are. And a lot of them can be in good condition too. It's got that nice cardstock cover. Yeah, it does. And it's bright yellow, but as long as it wasn't destroyed or wrecked, it has a lot of it's very sturdy in that way, because it's also not like a glossy cover too.
There. That's a sturdy Paper Girl there.
Well, no, I'm just saying, because it's not a glossy cover. It's like
you're right.
Like the gloss can break really. You can get a color break crease easily if something's like glossy, because you got that like sheen and finish. But this is more matte finish, so it's a little sturdier. And I was with you. We both picked this up off the shelf when it came out. I think there's some like 37,000, near 40,000 copies of this, so it's not a low printed book, especially for like an independent.
There was 37 to 40 of one.
Yeah, it was like 37.5. I want to say that.
I remember it was so cool. I remember them going like, he's not only coming out a book, he's coming out a book with no ads, and it's going to be like a double copy. And by the way, it's going to be, what was it? Was it $1.99 or $2, whatever it was, $2.99?
It was $2.99. Yeah. I just what I remembered for it is like it's the Star Wars for a new generation. Is kind of like they were.
I remember also it sat on the shelves for a very long time too, and it
wasn't exactly what I expected.
No, but I remember reading it, and then the next week everybody came back in. I remember the person there that was working Wednesdays was a female. She ended up becoming a manager at one of their other stores. And she loved, me and her used to always talk about Vaughn because we liked it. And she's like, you got it right. You got a couple of copies of that. I was like, yeah, I got a couple of copies, a reader copy, saver copy.
Yeah, 5 prints on this.
Yeah, there was. But some of them were later. They didn't come out with the 5.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't
we'll talk about it a little bit later when we talk about Saga WTF moments. But
yeah. We'll be back with that. And I also realized this is a bit of a stretch because they have multiple times said, we are not making a movie out of this. Like Fiona Staples and Vaughn, they've said, no, we're not making a movie.
There was stuff.
Unless they make it a musical with...
I mean, never say never. They need to come back and finish this off either way.
Yeah, I just need to finish it off, but still.
They said they've got
Legendary optioned his entire library, basically. So maybe they have options at it.
They could, I mean, saying never, and then 10 years or 20 years down the line, they could still do it. I will say this about... because she had said she wouldn't do stuff like certain stuff she wouldn't put in there. They eventually put him in. And, he likes to produce stuff. He likes to be on TV shows. So we'll see.
Yeah. But this is coming in our number 2 spot. I thought this was going to be number 1, but $269.30 with 29 bids. It still didn't take the top spot. Yeah, this is raw. I didn't do any graded copies because graded. Yeah, don't get to the variant. That's again another whole other animal. Same, just like graded copies. I didn't want to play that game with this because it's different collectors and different price points, and you can't always get apples to apples.
I guess that's a book. Somebody asked me like books I wouldn't sell, modern books I wouldn't sell. That's one I'll never sell.
Yeah, I'll probably never sell. This is just mine. I got the one. It's mine.
I got 2, and the one that's got thumbprints on it and the other doesn't. I'm never selling either one. So.
And then I was surprised this was number 1. I don't have this book. I have the reprint. I think it's issue 1 and 2 together, and I bought the trade. Like I have the trade for issues 1 through 6. I guess it is. Like that's how I read it when it first came out. I read it through trade because I missed it.
Was the Vertigo's first or whatever it was? Was that 1 and 2 together?
I don't know if it was Vertigo's first, but it was a reprint. They did it like a special kind of thing with the 1 and 2, and it still does all right. You can get like $30, I think, for that, maybe more. But again, Hulu, as we're watching it now. We might be able to talk about this in a little bit, but $341.74 from the UK. So it's a weird price because it's a currency conversion.
Yeah, I figured Y would be the best. I mean, I think Saga would be the best, but whatever.
I thought Saga was going to be the highest price because, again, I was just going off of straight up highest sales for a raw book.
David, we'll review these. Did you watch the last episode? You thought they did that bad? I don't think they did that bad. Okay, well, we'll talk about that later, Dave. Dave, stick around because me and you, we're going to have a chat. We're going to chat later on the why and what's going on. All right.
But yeah, that's it. So that's my last one for that. I used that to fill time while you disappeared with your power outage.
Yeah. So you know what it was, and this sucks. Like I have a full house generator. It does all 4,000 square feet. The problem is if they do one of those surge where it surges in and surges out, it knocks out all the Orbeez, all the internet. So we got the big one. The big one came. So. But no, back on. Now I'm hardline. Now I'm
I got that. It was weird. Yeah, last night we got that last night where it was like, why is everything going to our extender? Like we got a Wi-Fi extender for outside.
Yeah.
But when we were on the whole other side of the house, I'm like, why the hell are we off the extender? I was like,
the problem is I got the 700-foot cord. That's how far away it is. So that's what took me so long. I had to put the 700-foot cord. And so.
Anyway, you were telling us about Private Eye before you were
which is funny because that's what happens. They pull the plug. And I was like, how funny is that? They pull the plug in Private Eye, right? Like it was just one of those things.
I guess David's on board with you.
Oh, he is. It was just something like with Private Eyes. I don't know if it was just the concept was cool. Getting that back to back was cool. The fact that I actually would have. So this is why I didn't pay for it. And I'm glad I didn't till the end. Is I'd have to go back each month and then I would reread and be like, now I caught that and do it. But there's a the kid that the main protagonist who's the guy figuring out the murder, but also and then people would wear masks and they would wear these hoodies and you couldn't identify anybody. It really was about it's kind of creepy, but we've got friends that believe every kind conspiracy theory, right?
But
there's one that I always do believe, and it has happened. Like Private Eye is true. You give them phones and stuff. Now, mind you, this is years. I don't know how old Private Eye is, but it's got to be, because that was at the old house. So that, not the compound. So that's like 10 years, 8 years ago, right? How the phones will track you. Because the phones tracked you, the government started tracking you. That's why they got rid of all this stuff. You know what I mean? And like, it's kind of funny because now people are, and they kind of talked about how all these people would like run around 24/7 and nobody ever did it. So then they decided to like blow it all up pretty much as a terrorist organization and blah, 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 blah. It's a great read. Go out there, read it. It's probably still on that. If you try to find it, I wonder if we search the internet, if we can find Private Eyes on that site. Cause I don't even know what I don't know what the site was that Vaughn was on it, but it's S tier by far and the best ever webcomic that they ever made.
I can't argue with you because I didn't read it. So I have to leave it to the chat to confirm or deny. I can neither confirm nor deny Marco's rating of Private Eye.
I mean, it's
because I didn't read it. I didn't even know.
2015. So what year is it now? 2021.
Yeah, all right.
6 years. Really? I thought it was. Is that when it ended? Because it was 10 issues, so that'd be 10 months. It had to be 14.
It's only 10 months.
Or maybe it was in this house too. I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like when you lost power, I had to fill time and tell people like I didn't read this.
Panel Syndicate.
Marco to talk about this.
Yeah,
because...
Panel Syndicate. That's what it was. It's called Panel Syndicate. And you can
Panel.
Panel PAN Syndicate SYNDICATE.com. You could still go on there. It's still name your price. You could read the whole thing there. The grandpa character's awesome, man. Oh my god, so good. Oh,
I might have to check it out then.
Yeah,
if it's still there.
It's definitely a good book. So on this book though, you could actually go to your local comic book store and buy it too in a trade paperback form. I think it's actually a hardcover paperback form because Kirkman, the guy who wrote The Walking Dead, loves it so much that he made a deal with Vaughn that he would let Vaughn do something with The Walking Dead, like write a Walking Dead episode or whatever it was, or if he finally pushed this out because this storyline was that good, and it is that good. It's everything you do.
Well, I put it there because I can't deny it, and from the chat. Oh wait, I mean, apart from being really good, Comic Journey doesn't like it because of the sideways format.
Was it printed in sideways format?
It looks like it because that's how the image came out to me.
It probably is in sideways. You know what? I just read it online.
I don't think about it because I don't think about it in sideways. If you're talking about if it's on a website, then it's probably in widescreen format, which is what our laptops are.
That's what it was. That's probably why they did. And actually, it's not as offensive as Barrier. I'll tell you that much. And I think it's hard screen, so it's almost like a tabletop book. Yeah, it's for Private Eye. Eric read it, so yeah. So pay for Private Eye and yes, it's name your price. I'll tell you, back in 2015, I paid $125 for Private Eye. That's why I didn't buy it when it came out in hardcover cover, and I would pay $0 for Barrier, and I have.
Yeah, they should pay me back to read Barrier for my time.
I guess, David, I guess you're right. Now that but he was like the originator for it, right? So like, I mean, you got to give him some love on that. I'd still read it. I think I probably should go back and reread it. But then I don't want to.
I'll definitely take.
I don't want to run through it and pay him nothing for it. But then I already felt like I paid too much for it, so I don't want to. You know what I mean? Maybe I will.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What do we got next?
What do we have next? We probably don't have much.
We got three left.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So Image. we've got Image now. So we're going to Image. Where you guys I saw you hitting this up, Paper Girls 1 through 30. This was a book that I thought he actually ended on time, if not a little bit early. I thought this could have gone the route of East of West and gone like 50. You know what I mean? Paper Girls. I thought Paper Girls could have gone a little bit longer. Yeah. There was some crazy shit, and you actually had to be engaged. You really had to be engaged to figure out what was going on with there for a couple of them, because the alien sides, there was the kids and all that. It's gonna be one. Is it they making this movie or TV show? TV show?
They're making a show. I think Amazon.
Fucked up TV show. I don't know how they're gonna make it so people can understand it. I think they might get confused by it.
They might, but I'm hoping.
All right, yeah, I have it at A. I think it's A. It's an A tier product.
It would have been close. It would have been close for S to me, but
It is. It's close. It's close, but it's not quite S. SSS comic has S. David has D. D tier for Paper Girls. Ooh. I could get it. It's a thinker book, right? You have to be engaged.
Well, what do you think, Eric? I get it. Well, does that mean you're pro Philip K. Dick or anti Philip K. Dick?
He's pro because he gave it an S. He gave Private Eye S. He's talking about.
No, we're not talking about Private Eye. Oh, he's saying
he was giving
Private Eye was a Philip K. Dick type story, not a Paper Girls. So I was like, well,
it's going to be a cartoon. Okay, cool. It can make a cartoon. I'm with Tiger. I think comics a little bit high on S. I think David is a little bit low on D, and I think
I'm comfy with A for now.
Fett is okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. David, I respect that opinion because I can see it. Like I understand.
Yeah, if you're not into it, it gets.
If you're not engaged and you're not into it, I think it's a light version of East of West, kind of like that way of telling a story. I think he tried to do something like that, and there was parts where it didn't hit, and that's why it's not S tier. Still very good. But yeah, I mean, that's why I have it at A without a doubt. I don't think I would put it in S. I don't think I could go that far. So good. That's why we have this discussion so that we can talk about it. Yep. Now a book that I think is underrated, and you can find in dollar bins, and I suggest you guys do if you hadn't read it.
Yeah, I'd pick them all up if you could. All 6.
We Stand Guard.
I did, and I highly recommend doing it.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times. I've actually given this runaway a bunch when people are like, well, Paper Girls is the best ever, or when they say how great Saga is, and I'm like, did you ever read We Stand on Guard? And I don't understand how people miss this mini. Well, first off, once again, it's a mini. So, of course, I loved it and read it.
Yeah.
Number 2, I thought it was done well. Number 3, it reminded me, what was that movie where they had John Candy, where they invaded Canada?
Oh, Canadian Bacon?
Canadian Bacon!
I was like, born in the
USA. Oh, I love Canadian Bacon. I'm going to watch Canadian Bacon this week. So just absolutely loved it. And they took the more serious tone to it and everything like that. And like, once again, if you're going to try to make a political statement,
Jedi didn't love it.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, our service, I can understand that.
That's Fett with an A. Canadian Bacon.
Canadian Bacon. Right. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I'm going to put it into, I mean, hey. Ooh.
This is where I would have it.
All right, good. I thought I was going to have to fight to keep it in B. So I'm glad we're putting it in
I know. Because I enjoyed it as well.
I think it is underrated. I think it's probably his most underrated work.
And that's why I think I'm giving that maybe a little bit. I think it might be like a B+. It's not middle of the road. It's definitely on the higher end. It's top third. But
what did Jedi not like about the end?
I don't know.
Because Canada wins. That's probably why.
Ending was 4.
Yeah. He's like an older version of Donny Cates. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, Jedi. Okay, that's what he's saying. Yeah. Are you asking? Could it have gone 8? You're saying it could. You're mad it didn't go 8. Agreed. It should have gone 8.
Stretched
but
it.
He doesn't do 8. He does 6 or 60. So like at that point, like what do we got? It could have gone 60. It could not have gone 60. So I'll take the 6. I mean, yes, it should have been 8. Jedi, that's very valid. That's why it's not an S. Okay, cool. I'll give you that.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. David said 2. It was. Yes, 100%. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, why the hell did people not read this thing? Like, because there's a lot of people
I don't think
out
it was
there.
well known. I only grabbed it just because it was weird. I was like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's Brian K. Vaughan. I'm like, I'll check it out.
I was grabbing it and literally buying it, and then
I didn't buy it until I made sure all 6. Because I was like, I'm not looking for this guy.
Oh no! I bought.
If I'm gonna grab like 4 or 5 out of the dollar bin, I'm gonna be pissed if I'm missing 2 issues. So
I had it on my
buying it if I find all 6, and I did.
There was another story. There was this came out, and so did. What the hell was that story where it's the kids and they're in the bomb shelter? They came around the same time, and I remember reading both of them, and it was like, oh man,
bomb shelter.
I'll find out what that is. There was some messed up other book that's really good. It wasn't. This was like the better of the 2. I know they were both going at it, and
Well, I'm sure everybody can see the last one we have left. It's the layup.
What is it? Oh, Saga. It's A. It's fucking A tier. I mean, I would debate if I had to rank these. No, come on, or S tier. I mean, sorry. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, A?
Yeah, yes. If I had to rank these, it goes Saga, Private Eye, Y, Runaway, Pride. Like,
is this it?
Last Kids on Earth. That might be it. Yeah.
Might
Yeah,
be
where
it.
they go. Yeah, it was it. Last Kids on Earth. Remember they had that? Was that the one with the bald kid with the glasses that goes crazy? Comic Stick Boys. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Marv. I've long damn powers.
Thought A was the top grade.
Yeah. No, it's S. It's S. Obviously, it's S tier, and we'll get into some of the WTF moments of it. But like, it's definitely it. Yes, actually, David, he is. So this is what's happening with it. This is my inside source. You ready for my inside source? There's actually like 2 years worth of Saga done already. They're just finishing up some stuff, and then they're going to release it so that they can take the breaks, and hopefully it will be done. That the only thing I do know for sure is that there's at least enough.
Well, JJ's not happy.
JJ, look, man. I mean, it's an ongoing title. There is enough for them to go a couple of years and have it. Now, I don't know if that's with hiatuses or breaks in between, like they did with the original one. But when they originally did Saga, they had backed up. Like I think they had like 40 issues in the bag before they released it. And that's kind of like how they have it again. They're up to like 20, 30 issues of it in the bag. Supposedly, that's what the word on the street is. So. Mm-hmm.
But we are tiered up. It's not too bad. It's not too overly.
I can't believe we put something in trash.
I mean, the bottom is definitely empty. But if we discount trash, it's not too bad balance wise.
Yeah, no, pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, let's get a move on it because we lost the power, so we got to kick it in real quickly. Speaking of Saga, we're gonna do a little segment on Saga called what?
Yeah, I need a 30-second pause while you do it too.
So I'm gonna do it, and it's I'm gonna share. You go, Pete, and I'll start this, and I'll go over it. Okay, let's see if I can say this without shutting everything down. Pete would be mad. Okay, here we go. Saga. It's what the bleep moments. When everybody talks about it, we kind of talked about too, making this a movie. Do know, guys, I cannot see the chat right now, just so you know, until Pete comes back. So the what the F moments, probably like the top 5-ish what the F moments of Saga for those maybe a couple people that haven't read Saga. We're gonna start off with this is I think when you start talking about what the F moments, you got to start off with I like to call it the Apple books. Number 12, issue number 12, Prince Robot was dying, and Apple decided to ban this from online. You couldn't download this book because of, let's try to do this so we don't get in trouble on the YouTubes. There was a man using his mouth to pleasure another man. So yeah, that was one of the scenes. And the other scene that was in this book was I don't even know how to do it. I can't do it. So I'm not going to. Go ahead and watch 12 and see whatever was going on. Prince Robot has had a lot of weird stuff going on.
What are you trying to figure out what to do?
I can't say what's actually happening in this what the F picture. This was the banned Apple book. This was 12.
You want the technical term?
So there was 2 males that were.
It rhymes with Horatio.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Sort of.
Horatio?
It sort of rhymes with.
Oh,
Horatio
yes.
things.
It also rhymes with Zukaki. Okay. There you go. That's how you do that. All right. So that's 12. So that was the banned book. For those people that didn't know, this was a big stink because Apple banned this book from being downloaded. It was 12. And this is when the series, I have to say, I can't see the chat, so I know people are going crazy with this. This is going to be the best because people are going to go nutty. I can't see
it. The Hummer issue.
Yeah. Okay. So this was what made this. Honestly, this is where we get to 5 printings on number 1, and actually we get to 4 printings on 3 because Apple at the time was trying to break into the comic book thing, and it gotten so big, it made news quick. And I don't know if Saga would have gone on that long. I mean, it probably would have gone through the 30 that they already had laid out, but It wouldn't have gone much farther if it wasn't for this. This became such a stink that this became like everybody had to have Saga. The problem, I think people will kind of get into it, is like, I'm not sure why this was a stopping point, because we have Saga number 4, where we go to a planet called the Sextillion. Not only do you start off with 2 women with just legs and big mouths greeting you, there's a couple I couldn't even show the other panel, to be honest with you, because I couldn't describe anything.
It was too, you had to cover too much.
But let's explain what's going on maybe a little bit in this panel. There is
eyes wide shut.
There's a furry, okay? And a furry doing big having acts of adult acts going on in the middle of the floor. There is there's a eyes wide shut incident, and there's also what would appear to be a female who is
you're only allowed to use innuendo and medical terms.
Okay, so there's a male who is who's bending over, and there's a female who has an apparatus on herself.
Think of it like a game of charades. Just no names, no rhyming.
Yeah, that has an apparatus on herself that is in the shape of a phallic symbol, and it is. Isn't
there a power tool company that has a similar name to that, or
maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, and yeah, well, and then there's a. It looks that like there's a lubricant being used on the male, and yeah, so that's going on, and this is the one that's not even half as bad as the other one, right? So the other one we would have just had to have.
This is the place to be, as Marv said.
Okay. So that was in number 4. So I mean, you're willing to show that, and that's where everybody came down. You know, I remember at the time everybody's like, "What do you mean you're banning the one thing? Have you seen number 4 yet? Like 4 is crazy as crud." Also,
I also remember didn't 6 get a lot? Wasn't 6 with the robot, the TV heads?
Yeah, there was. There's also. What
was it that by then it was just like?
No, well, there's a lot of hetero alien sex going on in this too, like full blown. Like, there's actually one. I didn't even add this part because it was so messed up. But there's a part where the husband is having relations with the wife in a
space pegging. Is that a bad term?
That's what was going on. In a non.
I said it anyway.
In a non-traditional form, in a form that's named after a pet, maybe that type of style. So, and then the wife turns into
Froggy.
their child's doll, and then like a demon explodes out of her stomach. So like that stuff all happened. Nobody had a problem with it. This is also something in 4. The left side, they also in 4, in that Sextopia, had a child who was a slave, who was a trade worker, if you know what I'm saying.
So what do you think was worse? Was Sextopia worse, or was Herogasm worse? You remember that boys mini?
Oh yeah, no, because Sextopia took place. There's a lot of stuff that happened to Sextopia. Like there definitely was like I'm saying, like this child thing that was there was very yeah. And in Sextopia actually goes across 3 or 4, and Prince Robot gets there at one point. Like there's definitely some stuff in Sextopia that's messed up. They had mole people too. It's all messed up. But then the girl that he saves from the trade,
Woody Woodpeckering.
Eventually, is it in 16? It must be in. Is it in 16? No. Yes, it's in 16. In 16, actually stabs him to death almost. The will to death, the guy that saves her. Mm-hmm. And in that episode, there's a unicorn lover who has a in her private region is a starfish. Okay? She's a human with unicorn. Yes. So, but like all that apparently wasn't. It is really messed up. And then
a human unicorn.
Yeah, she looks like she's a humanoid, so she looks like a human.
Like a centaur unicorn.
No. Everything about her looks humanoid because she, of course, has got no clothes on because like that's a thing. But like at the top of the head, she's got like braided hair, I think, if I can remember correctly, and then like
a unicorn's like whatever.
I'm trying to remember
the horn of a unicorn. And then her lady parts are a.
It's been so long.
The carpet matches the drapes, but the drapes is a starfish. So, anyways, or a star.
I do have this hardcover right here. Man.
Mm-hmm.
I forget how many issues.
They're also, by the way, they at one point, the one of the Will's quote unquote partners, one of the children, the one that stabbed him in the neck.
Eric said this does not sound like Star Wars.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And another person have to go on a quest, and their quest is to retrieve the byproduct of a male lizard dragon type thing.
Dinosaur?
Yeah, and one of the scenes show him milking
the lizard.
He milks himself in his mouth.
I believe what they call it.
Yes. And then it's like, we can't show you any of that. And then they have to collect the specimen. So yeah.
Yes.
Oh, but my personal favorite out of all this, and also before issue number 12, in issue 7 through 8, it's at the end of 7 and 8.
Gary Fisher wrote Star Wars.
Yeah, right. 7 and 8.
Sticks.
Once again, why 12 should have been banned is because of this. This was like when this was like the end, almost an end scene at 7, I believe. It's towards the end. People were like, "Oh my God, read the book here. Can you believe he did this? This is a big giant troll / Cyclops-ish type character."
Ogre-ish.
Yeah. And with the smallest twig and berries. Well, no, the twig is probably the smallest. And
yeah, the berries are just hanging low.
And it's very they're very moldy, I guess, or it's very look, if you haven't read it, it's what the bleep, and then like 8 is really what the bleep, because then it's like 12 pages of this, okay? Just 12 pages of this. All right. So that's the saga, what the bleep, and we hope we don't get banned from YouTube from it. I think I did a good job, right?
Yeah, I don't think you did anything wrong.
No, I think but yeah, that's why that will never be, when people are like, "Oh, you don't want it to be something." No, I'm not saying I don't want it to be, but like there's that, and that's not even, there's like so much more. We only covered like the first 20
that was
books.
nothing. That was only a handful of issues that
was only the issues we could actually edit to put out there. There's stuff we couldn't even, there's no way you would be able to see anything on it. We just couldn't even edit it. Yeah.
One, I still have to catch up. Like I'm probably a dozen issues behind that I still got to get to before because I knew I knew they're pausing, so I was like, well, I'm not going to rush to catch up. So I do have but I'm going to have to reread everything, I think, once I do get to that.
There was some stuff. The girl in the trade, she didn't actually want to do that. Like, and then he had to explain, like, because it's a lot of subtext to it, but like about war and everything like that. But originally Fiona didn't want to do it. But yeah, big shout out to her. She does some crazy stuff. Yes, I know. Usually the Rolling Stone doesn't. Yeah, but he definitely's got the giant ogre's got moss. But yeah, so it's
Major League 2.
Yes, that was the incident that was going on there. There's another scene that I was gonna try to. I gave up, guys. I really gave up on it.
It was tough when you said you're gonna do it. I'm like, okay, go for it.
No, you started laughing. You continued to laugh, and then you said, "Good luck with that." All right. Well, let's get into talking. We could talk about since we're talking about Kayvon, why don't we talk about why? You caught up on Why the Last Man.
Yeah.
I caught up on it. I didn't know what David was saying, if he enjoyed what they did with it or what they didn't. I will say this. Are we doing the spoiler thing? I mean, yeah, I guess maybe we can do the spoiler thing.
You want me to just do it just to be on the safe side?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, because the rest of the way, because what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk the Why episodes, and we'll probably get into our What If thing. So if you haven't watched Why or What If, then this is probably your warning to watch this later. So here's your warning.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Warning.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
All right. So
It's gonna be a short night too.
I know it's going super duper long now. So why The Last Man? Pete, what how's your feeling on why The Last Man?
Well, this is what happened. Like I didn't get to watch last week when you first started giving your first like impressions of those first three. I'd only gotten like halfway through the first episode, and I didn't get through everything until today. Last night and today. I watched some last night and I watched today. At first impressions when I was watching that first episode was this seems to be taking a long time to get going. I think it's mostly because they were adding characters, and it felt like, okay, you're setting things up. I get it, you're setting people up, but it's like I don't have a lot of free time, so let's keep this moving. But once I settled in, luckily today I didn't have a lot else to do, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna watch these and focus. I was enjoying it. I didn't mind, and I'd actually was happy that they introduced these extra and new characters because I think it did round out the story more than if we just were focusing on basically Yorick the whole time. I kind of like the break because he can bother you, he'd be like, come on, dude,
and we got a segment after this. I should tell you that we're going to do something of characters we want to see either more of or characters we want to see coming up, and I hope they do. But I will say this: I thought it was funny in the beginning, when they did the thing, oh, who's out there trying to shoot you down? Oh, it's the wife of Republican people because they hate us. I was like, okay, cute, you're funny. What they did this way, where it was some sub coup that I'm like,
yeah,
and then they dropped it. It's like, okay, you spent too
much
time.
They dropped it. I think it's still coming.
Do you? I think
yes,
whatever.
I think it's coming, and that's what has me worried. I'm like, I don't want to get into this. I don't want them to make this a bigger deal because
in the comic book it was
climate.
It was the comic book. It literally was two panels. They shot up a thing. It's gone.
Yeah, it was over. Good.
They did a good job with it.
Fine. I feel like they're on the show. They're going to drag that shit out, and I'm not.
I hope they don't. I just don't care. Yeah, I don't want a subplot about that. It's like just
God, because I hate his daughter, the president's daughter. I'm just like,
oh yeah, she's annoying. She's so annoying. Yeah, it was like Mean Girls all of a sudden. I'm like, what am I watching here? This isn't and yeah, I think the problem with Yorick is he translates so well as being just a pain in the ass and a spoiled kid on the comic. I don't think he's doing
when you see a person doing it live, it's just
I'm not blaming the actor on that, but ooh, dude. Not a good
the two of when 355 lays into him on the bridge, you've been given everything.
Yeah.
So it's I was completely on her side,
which is kind of what they do. I mean, it kind of happens a couple times in the books too. Dave, but this okay. So 1, 2, okay, 3, kind of 4 though. This is where I'm gonna say it. I think 4 is starting to pick up. And 4 is where it's kind of. I really enjoyed 4. I think they finally got away. Even why did you have to have Hero kill the husband with the thing or the
Well, it was an accident. I thought it was
okay. I get that, but then you had to do the weird thing with the wife, give the ID.
Yeah, I think that's just guilt. I think it was just to give her character a little bit more than what she had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I just want to make it a little more well-rounded. I didn't mind those additions.
Well, because I think I just don't know which route are they going to go, and it's something that shows up later. And I think they kind of ran into them, so I'm hoping they did, but they haven't actually said it, and they definitely haven't said who the lady is. But at the end of this series, they run into the group, and I'm hoping it's a group, and we'll be talking about it in a little bit. But I'm hoping it's this group and this lady.
Well, the Amazons.
The Amazon. Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it kind of has to be. And I feel like they kind of had to do what they did to Hero to make her more susceptible to kind of buying in.
I will say
she's in a kind of a more fragile kind of state, because otherwise her character, the way they portrayed her before that, was
plus you get scared. You get scared for Sam, right? Because the women of the daughters of the Amazon, they don't deal well with what they call them, gender traders, but it's not. It's people who use hormones or trans is the correct term, I believe. Who are trans, that's not they don't it's not good. And the mind, I see, that's the stuff I wish they would spend more time with the mindset on. But they can fix Hero, because Hero's problem in the comic book was she for those people, spoiler alert, if you haven't read a 20-year-old comic book,
the problem is I read it 20 years ago, so a lot of it's hazy.
Yeah, so Hero, it never made sense why she was so angry at Yurik. It didn't. I get it. I get what he was trying to do there. It didn't, in my opinion, did not play well when she's the one that's going in there. Like, yeah, she killed the girl. I get that. Yeah, she cut off her boob. I get that. Like, I understand all that, but like the point where she's like specifically going after him when the prison women are trying to protect him, and she goes and she's going to kill him. The comic didn't give me enough to feel like that would be a mindset. So maybe that's where they're going with it.
I think it's what they're just kind of, I think that's what they're trying to do now, like giving her character a little bit more.
I think they did. I think they hit I mean, I always loved Diane Lane. Like, I actually got, I got the hots for her, so like, I'm good. But like, the woman who plays
ever since The Outsiders.
Yeah. No, ever since everything. I mean, no. There's a couple. Okay, ever since we're gonna get off. Since we're 2 hours in. Ever since 350, the lady who plays 355, I thought was going to be a hard person to cast, and there's somebody else that I watched he cast very well. They did an excellent job with that. I think they did a good job with Hero too. I'm not saying they even did a bad job with Yurik. I'm just saying, like Pete brought up a good point. I think
it plays differently.
Plays bad. It plays bad.
It plays differently when somebody. It's to your point, not to your point, but the problem you had with the audiobook, like when they're all actors being read to you, it's different than when it's a voice in your head where you can put it in your own like framework. Once it's somebody else's interpretation, if they do something slightly off of what you might be expecting or hoping, it could irk you and it could rub you the wrong way.
David, that's what I'm saying. Is it Man? They have Alyssa Mann in there because I don't remember Man being in the show yet.
She hasn't been yet.
Okay, because
they're heading to go see. That's who they're going.
The Doctor is so different than that. Doctor is so different than the comic.
I mean, I guess the expectation because she's supposed to already be in here, already be part of the story, but we don't have her.
Yeah,
yet.
She shows up in one, but yeah, I mean, and then
in the comics, yes, she shows up in one, but we don't have her yet on the show.
Which I think that's where, I think we're gonna get into it. Which is, I actually didn't add her into the list of people I want to see, but like I had somebody that will give us that. But either way, like, and then, but the thing why I don't think he's bad, and the part that I wish I'd more, the camping scene where he was in the camping scene, had the mask on, ran after him. That was a smart thing. The chasing the vision of Beth, it doesn't play as well as when he was going out to try to find her, and that was his deciding factor in the comic books. You know what I mean? Like, I guess she had.
It's also tough when it's a show, and like what felt like 30 seconds or a minute before she said, "Don't go running off." like we literally just talked about this. Don't go running off, and the first thing he does when they get to this market is, "Oh, I'm gonna go run off chasing this vision of Beth."
See,
and it's like I'm talking to my son. I'm like, I just told you not to do that, and that's.
I like that. I liked what they did with the marketplace with the added police thing. And I thought originally when I was like, oh, crud, they might substitute out the women of Amazon for that, but they're not. I think they're changing around certain things, and some of the characters might not have the same names, but they're gonna put them in there. You know what I mean? Like we might have seen.
I think they might combine, they might separate, they'll definitely play with things. But I mean, ultimately, I feel like the spirit of everything is still there, which is good. So I think with what the changes that they're making, while they may be, some people might think they're major, some people might think they're minor. I think I'm on board so far because I feel like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I do think Hero right now is a little. I feel it, and I just hope it doesn't. The problem is, I hope it doesn't go the route of the comics with Hero. I hope they fix some things they could have done with her and Yurik. I think they might.
I think they might. And that's also what I'm kind of happy in seeing changes now with them adding. I feel like it is going to be a little bit more unknown. I don't have to feel like everything's going to be beat for beat. It's going to be the same. I feel like, all right, as long as the spirit's there, I'm fine.
Do you think, David, that the actor is bad? Like, do you think the writing, the script is bad as far as your, like, I don't know what that actor did before, so I couldn't speak on his acting ability.
I've seen him before, but I can't place him. But I don't think he's doing a bad job. I think it does come to the point you're talking about like a spoiled kind of like.
I don't know if it picks up if they do the Amazon thing, Daughters of the Amazon, and they introduce one of the characters that I'm going to show you. I think we have a pretty good shot that it's going to come back. I think it's part of the script too. I think it's part of the script, Dave. I mean, I hope it's not, but that's what it is. So let's get into it then. Let's get into the. Let me go switch around the slide so we can figure this out real quickly and get rid of the Saga stuff. And I will throw up this. So these are some characters I think might be able to save this and might help out. And one of these, we might have seen her already. I went through all the IMDb. I tried to figure out if it was actually her or what it was. But it's Victoria and the Daughters of the Amazon. Now, obviously, the woman who was the in-charge lady towards the end wasn't some lady claiming that she beat Bobby Fischer as a kid, and that's why maybe it was. She seemed a little bit of a hillbilly, but who knows? They said it was a women's halfway house, but you never know what it was. But Victoria and the Daughters of the Amazon show up first and four, and they throughout are probably in the first almost half of the story. They are the big bads, right? Like they keep coming back, even when another one happens, and we'll explain. Now,
I got one quick question before we get into the comics.
Is Victoria's death awesome? Yes, 100% completely awesome.
Did you feel like they might have escalated things too quickly
in the comics?
No, in the show. In a sense, like they're talking about like after 8 days, people had no food. Like, would you run out of food in 8 days? Like, I'm sure I still have shit around here. In 8 days.
I mean,
like
honestly,
8 days is not. That's a week. Like,
yeah. Did you see what Victoria had? She had a whole Sam's Club.
Well, I get the whole Sam Club. I'm talking about the people who were like already like after a week were. I don't know. It just the timeline just seemed.
I mean, think about. Well, you got to think about this. If
I get it, if your fridge is out, if power goes out,
not just that. It's no supply chain's done, right?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like in my own just pantry, like I've got enough canned goods that'll last me a week.
How fast did toilet paper disappear?
Well. I'm not talking about toilet paper. I'm talking about food.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. How fast did toilet paper disappear?
That's an inconvenience, though.
No, I get it, but if all of a sudden you're like, hey, we're getting everything because we don't know what's going on. Like, if the end of the world's coming, 8 days, you better this compound in 8 days is fully stocked. The gates come down. There's nothing going on. Nothing.
Yeah. And I also get it. I mean, everybody overreacts to every goddamn storm. Well, you're in the middle, so it's a little different for you. But when you're more coastal, it's like, well, the hurricane's coming. Like, let's all go buy all the milk and water and bread that we can.
All the time. I remember the time the gas went out over here, man.
But anyway,
yeah.
So I just felt like the 8 day things where it was like everything was in dire straits in 8 days. I felt like that was fast, but maybe it was.
Whatever. I'm glad they went to it in 8 days because I don't think I could have dealt with the inside the White House BS any longer.
Well, it didn't matter. I mean, it was an arbitrary number. They could have just went. They gave me 2.5 weeks and gave me the same storyline. Like,
okay, so I think the woman waking up and the only part you're gonna get with the payback is because if you know that there's the Israeli lady that ends up waking up, I think that's the way to introduce them. I mean, I think that's what that whole add-on was. So, I mean, whatever. Either way, so I hope I hope that is them and they show up. Speaking of them, I hope Beth 2 shows up. For those people that don't know Beth 2, Beth 2 was the second Beth, as it says, but also Urich and her have some naughty time. Actually, it wasn't on a grave in number 24. She was a pilot, and a lot of people died, and then she decided to protect the church, and it brought up a second portion because Victoria had already had the act. Oh, she had already died. I'm not going to tell you how she died because she died awesomely. And I think it's going to happen because they have. I mean, are we really ruining this? I don't know. Is this chat saying it's okay to ruin this? Everybody read the book.
Well, I don't know if everybody read the book, but you can. I mean, we don't have a ton here.
I'll just say this. They already Easter egged the item that takes care of Victoria. I'm just going to say that. So we know it's there, so we should be seeing it soon, hopefully, if that is the Victoria. It hasn't been listed as Victoria, but that's a way to say it, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Beth 2 is protecting a church because in the world of the Y, churches are very monogonistic because of priests and all the misogynistic. Thank you. Because of priests, whatever. Because priests and Jesus and God's a man. I get it, but that's how he's explaining it or whatever. She doesn't think so. She says like, listen, that's all human things. Blah blah blah. Good speeches there. Yay. We're all riled up. But she's actually kind of a badass character, kind of cool. And then we see at the end of 24 another great character that I hope show up. So I hope Beth 2 shows up. Also, he copulates with her, and then there's a junior that comes out of that. But at the end of now, this is the weirdest part. At the end of Velvet here, at the end of 24, you see her back on the last panel. So call that what you want. I'll also say
we did announce spoiler alert anyway, so you're good.
Okay. Also pick up 25 because I think 25 is kind of you get Beth 2 on the cover. Awesome covers, by the way. I love these covers. And you get Velvet inside. And this is a character I hope both these characters show up. I hope we get the church thing. I hope Velvet shows up too, because she goes on, but she also's got one. I hope they use this line. I hope they do the Pulp Fiction line. I'm not going to say what happens, but at one point, Velvet does say, hey, that's not actually scripture. There is a bunch of the daughters of the Amazon that are there, but not anymore. And she goes, hey, dickhead, that's not that. It's actually a Pulp Fiction line. It's a very funny line that they use in there. I hope they have the right to use it because it's good. She actually turns out to be a good character. There's back and forth, and then Velvet ends up joining another group, which I would imagine they're going to show that group too. So that's a lead in. As far as
Jones.
Huh?
I was just thinking of Velvet. I was thinking of Eddie Murphy's Velvet Jones character.
Mm-hmm. So I think if you enter Velvet, like if you give these two as the tee off, if you give us Beth 2 and Velvet towards the end, I think it can salvage. I think we can get a season 2 out of it. You have to. I mean, I think they're going to cliffhanger.
I don't even know if we get that far. Do we know how many episodes we're getting in this season?
It's 12.
Is it 12?
Is it 10 or 12? It's 10 or 12. One of the two. I think we can get that far.
They might.
How they just moved it up. How they just. I mean, if you end up shortening it because they go hunting for the bikes, right? But we already know they have a motorcycle, so you don't need that. You can shorten it up real quickly. You get the drama of finding Uric and the brother. You get either way. Also, Rose. So Rose is a demo, but she also, the weird part is she becomes. This is why she's cool. I actually like her because she just becomes. She's like Dr. What's her name's the main doctor, cloning doctor, a girlfriend, but she also becomes the. Well, fuck it, we're gonna ruin it. So they clone Uric, and she becomes the pregnant baby mama for one of the Uric clones. Yes,
the surrogate.
Yeah, the surrogate. Yeah. After the doctor dies. So, I mean, very important character, but she also blows a lot of shit up and is kind of badass. So I hope we get Rose, and she shows up in 32. It's called the title of 32, by the way, is called Girl on Girl, I think, if I remember correctly, or Girl Does Girl or something like that. Really, really creative with the titles. Now, Toyota, one of my faves. Also, this is a cover of Toyota on it. So I did her cover because I think this is like 31-ish, somewhere in the 30s. This is actually a cover, but her first is in 16, which is also, by the way, these books, like Stick said it, these books are cheap. You can still pick these up to read them. And you should read some of these arcs in here, especially in these things. 16, I always pick up because I love the swipe of the like Hamlet thing with the
with ampersand.
Ampersand. Yeah, I think it's hilarious. So her
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well.
I know. So right. So the doctor's dad was a little bit crazier, but obviously he was a male, so he died off. He had like an assassin lady named Toyota. Yeah, whatever.
Gotta
Who's
do
a
the
samurai
jump with the
ninja?
legs up. And,
Who's a samurai ninja? I get it. But a great character, a great antagonist. And by the way, like waiting for the fight scene between 355, 335, 350, whatever,
355.
355 and Toyota is a dream. Like I can't wait to see who they cast, hopefully of it, and I can't wait to see that fight. Because if it's anything like the comics, it's going to be really good. So those are the characters that I think could, quote unquote, if we see these characters, we will get a season 2, and I'm hoping to see these characters before it either ends or cancels. And a lot of them can open up a lot of other storylines and stuff. Like I said, I think we've already got the Daughters of the Amazon, and I hope since we have them, it's a quick end to Victoria. Because if we can get through a quick end to Victoria, it opens up so many nice possibilities.
Yeah, we'll see.
So many nice possibilities. And by the way, since they've already given us the it's like Clue, right? They gave us the weapon. They didn't give us the room yet, but they gave us the character. They didn't give us the whodunit, but they gave us the weapon, and we kind of know what's going to happen. So,
Colonel Mustard with the revolver in the hallway.
Honda and Mitsubishi. No, but there are some weird. Like, it wasn't one of the doctor's girlfriend's name before that was Mercedes, I think. So she went from Mercedes to Rose, and then like her dad's assassin name was Toyota. I'm not lying here. That's it, right? Like I'm saying it right, but I know it's right. Like I can't make this up. So, yeah. So that's good. So like, there's cool stuff in there. I think it's good, and I think one of the things we were talking about, right? Like, why lost its steam in the comics? I think we don't need that to happen. So the sooner we get the death of Victoria by the axe, the sooner that happens, the sooner that happens, the better off. I mean, are we going to do the women break out of prison and create a whole town? Do we need that? No, we just need. And it would be great if I think it'd fix the Hero story if Hero is the one that does the deed to Victoria.
Yeah, we'll see.
With the weapon in the study from Clue. So there we go. There's a couple books that are still really cheap right now. And if this does get into season 2, they probably won't be if those characters haven't showed up yet. So go out there and get it and actually read between those. I think, what is it? Well, really after 4, you got the teens that are all cheap and you get a lot of the story.
Once you get to the teens, it doesn't matter.
I think even 4 is cheap. I think 4
it's a clear run.
I think
really issue 1. That's it.
It's issue 1.
So it's issue 1, and then you can maybe get like 10 to 15 for issue 60.
And if you guys are guys that if you're digging and collecting anyways, like this is one of them, like $60 will get you 50 or 59 books will get you $50 will get you probably the whole run and give you a long time to read. And all you need to do is get the combo, which will probably cost you $2 anyways, which is the 1-2 or the reprint.
This is like one of those things. Just make a list of what you have and what you don't have. You find random issues for $1, just grab them, put them in a pile, and check them off, and you just keep going.
And you know what this is a good run for? This is a great run for those lovely people that decide that when they have a book priced and you bring it up to them, they're going to try to go on the internets and reprice the book. And when you've got 10 issues of Y the Last Man that are in the 20s and are 50-cent books, and they go, oh, I have this priced at $2. Cool. Well, since you priced the other stuff from the internet, why don't you price this at 50 cents too?
Yeah, we can price this at 50 cents too, because nobody's buying this.
Nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying that other crap too. So, yeah, the conservatory was the honey hole for buying through. Cool. So I hope we like that. That might be something we do from now on too, is like when we talk about it, just talk about how runs and characters we want to see in TV shows show up.
Something like that.
Show when it is. I don't know. We might try to tailor that down a little bit. But what else do we got? So we got What If.
We got Y, I think.
Huh?
We just think we just got not Y. What If.
What did you think of What If?
At first, I was worried, but I ended up liking it because it was a change of pace.
Yeah.
Like I felt like, oh, okay, we got the same kind of thing a couple of times over. Like, oh, it's everything goes to crap, and I don't know. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
Do we have something for it, or we're just
I
gonna
do.
get to it? Okay,
I
that's
do
fine.
if you want to.
I was pausing. I was ready to go, but I was like, he's clicking. So if he's clicking,
I got it clicking. So yeah, we do have What If episode 7. This is our reaction to What If Thor were an only child. I mean, what do you want to do? You just want to talk about just in general terms, and I'll just click through pictures because I have a ton of pictures.
It started off,
from this
and I
episode.
was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna suck."
Yeah, it's just basic Thor. Oh, Thor, and then Odin sleep.
My expectations were so this is gonna be dog shit.
Oh, Odin sleep. But then, yay!
Man, we party.
It's party time. Then I'm like, oh, this is gonna be dumb.
And
It's
then
gonna
they
be
brought in the Miss Marvel thing. Holy shit.
I thought I was gonna be worried. It's like, oh, then Jane Foster and Darcy. It was kind of amusing.
It's awesome. I love Darcy.
Yeah, they were tracking, and there was
What was
a lot
show
of
Darcy was in where she was broke. Two Broke Girls. I like
Two
that
Broke
show.
Girls. Yeah, I still think of her from the girl from 40-Year-Old Virgin though.
Huh.
But yeah, I also like. I mean, these guys were Skrulls, and then Thor was like, "You look like me. Now you do it. Now you do it." Like, it started to grow. Like once it started going, it started to build some momentum, and
Yeah, this is where you're like, okay.
I started to buy into it. And now I'm starting to like, all right, let's let's just have some fun. And they started throwing cameos out there with the Grand Master, which I'm pretty sure was Goldblum, and
It was. He was because I saw
in the background.
I actually forgot to hit the skip intro button, so I saw his name. I was like, "Why the hell is he in this?" And then
and Dirge, even though he didn't say anything, but Carl Urban's character was in there, and then seeing because again, this is the premise of this was that Loki was not kept by Odin. Odin gave Loki back to the Frost Giants, so. As soon as they show up, it's like, oh, here we go. This is where it turns. We're going to fight, and then it's giant Loki and the Frost Giants, and then all of a sudden, they're doing the whole brother from another mother thing.
I still wasn't sold at this point. Still wasn't sold.
No.
Was like, eh.
What about here when they're doing the little handshakes?
Still wasn't sold.
Still weren't sold. Were you sold when Darcy started flirting with Howard the Duck?
I liked it. Still wasn't sold.
How about when they got married? Or when Thor and Jane Foster decided to go to the tattoo parlor and get these
oh, good Lord.
magic and science tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Still not sold?
Yeah. Corny.
How about Surtur hitting on the Statue of Liberty?
Try to fight. No, well, okay. So I was actually starting to get sold at the duck part. The problem, they brought in Miss Marvel, and I was like, oh, wow, this is dumb. It really got dumb. And then they did the Thor was in the bedroom thing. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but not great. I like this where he melted off, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, we still got the whole. We got tons of people who showed up, Korg and Nebula.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, as soon as they had the hangover wake up.
Yeah, so this is where it gets there. Vegas Baby, I was like, okay.
And you had Rocket in the sink. Thor was on a chair. I think one of the warriors threw Fandral, I think, was covered in fuzzy things. And then Maria Hill's outside basically saying,
hated it. Hated the Maria Hill part. I hated the entire Maria Hill part.
Yeah, they bring him back to S.H.I.E.L.D. And to your point, we got one more person we can call. And
hated that. I loved how Nick Fury got taken out.
I was going to say, did you like how Nick Fury was taken out? The whole
I got taken out because of the cannonball.
So
I started buying in with the Howard the Duck marriage thing, and then they did the Hill thing. I was like, oh, and I love that actress, and I actually thought she was good as Hill in the regular thing. I wouldn't say I love the character, but whatever. But
I liked How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I liked How I Met Your Mother, and I liked her as Hill. I did like her as Hill too in the normal Avenger movies.
But she had to play the.
Yeah, whatever.
We're gonna nuke him anyway.
The nuke him anyway. This thing, the Marvel thing, that she comes down, she's like, I could have killed. I was like, this is just dumb. Even the Marcy thing where they're like Goose, the Goose thing.
Your cat's name's Goose. You're Maverick, and can I be an intern?
Go between 8 and 4. You're at 8. I need you down to 4. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. I get you. Yeah, I mean, but those moments went so quick. But I'm with you.
No, because this was a chunk. This is like a 5-minute chunk here, where I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Captain Marvel, and like you said, and then I think somebody in the chat mentioned the whole party pooper bit. that he was calling her a party pooper.
Party pooper was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm not going to run through the whole fight, but yes, they do fight quite a bit through here. Which wasn't bad.
I thought the fight was lame.
No?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, it was just kind of, they were hitting each other. What did you think of them hitting each other and then you seeing like the country name written on the country? Like,
I thought that was pretty
France.
funny.
So, yeah, I get it because it was cartoony.
I guess if they would have done this at the end, it would have been the big battle scene instead of making 2 out of it. Because then she was like, I didn't even use my real powers or whatever. I actually thought the second half was, and like, it would have been funny if they were doing that fight scene and then this happened. They got into the end zone, right? Like, because this is the end now. This is the second fight.
So when Jane Foster
calls his mom. That shit was funny, dude. And then he had to make the teenager clean up for a party. Yeah, dude. Okay, this
guys not going to help me?
Last 5 minutes, liked it. Like the last 5 minutes, dude. I will give you that. So, like, out of 30 minutes or 28 minutes,
this bit where everybody was sitting down.
Bit where everybody's sitting down, and he's acting like he's teaching. Funny. Like, they were right, man. This was like what would happen with kids in high school parties. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. And even
she saved it with the thing. I thought that was weird too.
Here's your tablet with some history and.
And then when Thor's mom goes, I know who you are. Thank you for doing this. Hey, I had no problem with any of that. I had 0 problems with any of that.
And then
I thought that was funny too. But
even though it made no sense because he was fighting with it a second ago.
Oh no, he was. Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
He was fighting with it a second ago. It was fine. Now all of a sudden it's partied up with beads and graffiti. But it was funny for a joke. Like, again, it was a lighter episode. It was different. And then he goes to Jane Foster to thank her and apologize. And then what did you think about, again, what seems to be
Ultron Thor or Vision Thor?
Yeah, Vision Ultron Thanos, with all the gems.
I think that I think this is all setting up for season 2. I unfortunately think that this is now I believe that we're not getting any endings and it's all good, which that ticked me off.
Yeah, I will admit that. Like, I thought it was kind of funny. And not to say that we couldn't come back, but I didn't need you to tease this here at the end. It felt like...
Yeah. Can we just finish it? That was a story that we should just finish. I thought they stuck the landing till that part. The beginning was tough. I agree with David. Like, the Miss Marvel stuff they did made it stupid. It ruined Hills.
They also Jane Foster didn't have the best look either at first. She was just kind of smitten the whole time and accepting a lot of dumb shit.
But the second half made her look good. The mom I thought always looked good. So
pretty good.
That was okay. And Darcy looked good throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, she still played herself.
Yeah, I agree with them. Hill and Marvel, Miss Marvel did not, or Captain Marvel did not make look good. It wasn't change pace though.
Sorry, I had to switch it because I saw JJ's. What do they say about the covalent bond at this school?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, there's a 21 Jump Street reference.
Nice. All right. Anyways, so that's it. It's really late. Thank you for the rest of you that stayed on. Please.
Yeah.
Change of pace. Give us a thumbs up. I agree with a lot of stuff David said. I won't say it's a scrap heap. I think there was worse episodes than this one.
Yeah, I felt like we needed a change of. I feel like we could have used this maybe an episode or two ago. Actually,
yeah, I think we could have used it probably between zombies and
if they would have followed up zombies with this, I think we would have been a much
better place.
Yeah, balance wise.
I'm just so disappointed now though. Like, I'm so disappointed because I don't want to wait. I want you to end it and not have to wait till season 2 for all the shit, man.
Yeah. Don't give me all these cliffhangers. I gotta wait.
I don't care. You know what? But this is it. You know what they could have done? Just stopped it there, and then in season 2,
you could have brought it back. It didn't matter. You could have introduced a whole new storyline. You didn't need to tease that there's going to be more.
Yeah, or you could what you could have done was like, what if? And then he could start. What if after Thor was cleaning up from the party, Vision Ultron comes? I get it, man. Like,
it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what they did. They didn't have to introduce Ultron Vision there. They could have just let it be.
100% agree.
And just ended it. And if they wanted to come back, you could have come back the same way. It's the same problem that I have with like the Hobbit 2 and 3. Like, it was a weird place to cut it. Like, don't cut it with the dragon, and then you're not giving me the dragon resolution until the start of the third movie, which there's no place for the rest of them. Like,
agree. 100% agree.
It was just an odd place to cut it. You cut it before or you cut it later. Don't Bad place.
Now,
Anyway.
JJ, I'm going to click on JJ's comment because it's getting late, so my eyes are kind of tired.
Yeah.
I will tell you that Double J's is a what if hater and troll. He absolutely hates it. He hates everything about what if. So here we go. Definitely. What did it say? It was good.
Neither way is a good solution at all. Both are big problems.
Okay.
No, because if they cut it before then, it just becomes a simple story of
simple story.
Thor maybe learning a lesson that he needs to be more responsible because they started calling him Odin. That's what Odin says. Like
it doesn't make it doesn't make the first half or first 3/4 of that show any better, that actual episode. But it overall, I think if you would have ended it there, you're like, okay, well, at least they salvaged it. But now the ending wasn't salvaged because now I gotta be like, oh, and you got cut off the last 30 seconds of it too. So like, there you go. All right. Well, hey, listen. Sunday we have got the Star Wars show. Join us. We're -1 Pete because he's got to watch.
You'll be without me because I got to watch.
New crappy. Let me tell you what's going to happen with the new. Let me tell you what's going to happen with the new wrestling. They're going to yell. Their shoots aren't going to be half as good as they used to be. It's going to be a bunch of spinning around and jumping, and then spinning some more and jumping, and spinning some more and jumping, and somebody's going to make this face. And that's it. I mean, that's it. That's it.
You realize I did miss AEW for this tonight. I have no idea if Bryan Danielson, still going to get weird calling him that, you know.
Huh?
Daniel Bryan, he went to AEW.
You know what I love is everybody thinks because I liked wrestling throughout the 70s,
that you know the newer guys
and 90s, that I know anything about these new guys. I have
but he's not a new guy. He's kind of an older guy.
Yeah, I know. But like for years now, for like 10 years, guys come into the shop and they start talking to me and they're like, hey, you know, like they're like, how you think AEW is going to be great, right? I mean, like Impact, it's going to be like Impact play. I go, I didn't watch Impact, bro. Well, Ring of Honor, no, didn't watch that.
Well, I don't know about Ring of Honor. I will say, I had lagged on AEW for a while, but I'd been watching recently. They are still pretty good. Like the matches, at least, are pretty good, and their promos are getting better.
No, I've actually tried. I actually try to give promo. See, that's the one thing about it. The one thing I miss is the promo, right? Like,
yeah,
I could deal with the fakey, like, oh, we're gonna joke around and just do spinny moves now. Like that's what our thing. We're not gonna oversell anymore. We're not just giving away the shoot. I can kind of deal with that. I could at least a little bit because then you can also explain to kids like, don't be like us and think it's real. Like, but they cannot. There's no promo. There's literally no pro. I don't even care about the kayfabe stuff. Like that's fine too. But like you had like guys in their backyard, like this is how we practice and warm up, and they're doing little rollies and somersaults and stuff. Who are those little guys? What are those? The tag team guys from?
The Young Bucks.
No, those kids.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. They actually completely changed their characters again and made them heels. And
what about the little kid? They have a little kid in the wrestling ring called Dinosaur Guy or whatever.
Oh, Marco.
Is that what they call it? He stole my name?
It's Marco Stunt.
He literally stole my name. And he's this little kid.
Yeah, the little guy's Marco Stunt with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. The
problem is this. Nash from here. George the Animal Steel from here. George the Animal Steel. Not a guy I'm going to, in his prime, go after. Marco Stunt. Like, non-believable.
Well, like he's just more entertaining. He's not really believable.
That guy in the Dinosaur Boy or whatever it was, I turned that on because I was like,
Jungle Boy.
I was like, this can't be something. This legitimately is what Pete says he watches. And I turned it on to watch Dinosaur Boy and Stunt Kid. It was like, it looked like backyard wrestling spoofing backyard wrestling. And I mean, I've been to some dirt shows. I've been in Pennsylvania when they're doing it in the back of a gym. You know what I mean? Like the Mutter shows. I've been to it all, man.
I'm not saying it's all great. I'm saying there have been moments, and I feel like they're finding their way now that they have some other talent. Like so far, CM Punk I didn't know because I know nothing of CM Punk. I didn't watch.
I literally knocked out the headphones so I can't hear because you just said one of the worst people. That one of the guys.
I'm just saying I didn't watch when he was on, so I have no history with him on WWE.
Garbage. He's garbage.
His on the mic, just so far what he's done, because he hasn't really done much. He's just kind of just being himself, I guess. It hasn't been bad, and he had one match.
Well, this is the thing with the reason why CM Punk was garbage is because like he bought into his own crap and then just started like he was kayfabbing, but he wasn't. You didn't like it's not kayfab because it really wasn't you, but then you turned yourself into your character. Do you understand? Like, I mean, I guess Ric Flair did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he eventually like drank his own Kool-Aid, but like that's I guess why I've always had a problem with Ric Flair too. Is like, I mean, I know everybody's like, oh yeah, I can't. Metzer gave Ric Flair a 5-star match one time. Watch that match. There is never in his life has Ric Flair's great promo, great shoot.
Oh yeah.
Never in his life has he even wrestled a 4-star match by himself. Minus a 5-star match. Never in his life. With that being said, hell of a promo. He's one of the best promos there is. Like you got to give that to him. One of the best.
Here we are, still nearly 3 hours into this. Somehow we started talking about wrestling and AEW and Ric Flair.
No. Hey, this is they were still trying. Yes, David. Now they've given up on that. They're saying, hey, it's 100% fake. And by the way, though, you should try to watch our promos. And they're trying to say that they are. It's an athletic event like watching Greco style wrestling. The whole performance is. And some of these guys, like, look, if you thought John Cena's not the best actor that he could only, like they had WWF had to give him a movie just so he could be the Marine, right? Like, no, these guys now are way worse. Like they can't work. If you thought Nash was dry on his shoots when he was Diesel, when he's doing his promos, like, no, bro. Like these kids nowadays.
Cena was pretty funny this past summer. I will admit, Cena was pretty.
Cena's good. Cena's good.
He was pretty entertaining. If
you watch some of that
summer
old
of Cena,
if you watch some of the old,
see, that's the thing. I didn't watch old Cena.
No. Just they got it on the interwebs. You go on the interwebs.
No, I know. That's the thing. My son watches all the old stuff.
You watch it on the
talking about AJ Lee and stuff.
There's
I'm like,
no
AJ Lee.
There's no way today Cena could be a star with some of the stuff he said.
Oh
like,
God,
flat out.
Yeah.
The Rock still though. I mean, when you think about it, if you think about the modern age of WWF, which I consider the modern age, like after the wars, right? After the wars. When you think of that, probably the best promo. Oh yeah, Eric, thank you. Keep the power on. The generator will. It's like a thing. It's like this huge thing that powers. I mean, there's no way the power is going out here. But if you talk about that era, I think probably the best promo, better than Stone Cold, better than anybody else, better than Cena, has to be The Rock. He's the best promo. And actually, when he promos with some of the better promoters, like the Cenas of the world, his promo just gets even better. I mean, it does. Like his promo's that good. And I don't think there's anybody in the last 15 years that can promo that well, unfortunately. So,
yeah. We'll see. I'm still waiting to see if he comes back, if he wrestles his cousin.
Who?
Roman Reigns.
Wasn't that the guy everybody hated because he couldn't do a promo either?
But he's turned it around. Now he can do.
He actually could wrestle. He was like actually a guy that could wrestle and could do it.
Well, the thing is, because what they did with like nobody liked it because they were forcing him down as like, oh, here's your hero, here's your your face. He's now a heel this past year. People are buying in to him being a heel because he plays it well.
Yeah, hey, listen,
he's playing a good heel. That's all I can say is he's playing a good. They started him off weak by doing too many like, oh, his cousins help out or he cheats to win. Like they did that a little too much, but now they've kind of made him a monster heel to a point where you can buy into it because it's just like, all right.
Apparently, we have to have a wrestling segment. David,
yeah, we do.
100%. Nobody will disrespect George the Animal Steel on this show. First off,
no, absolutely not.
First off, a Michigander. No, first off, a Greek Macedonian. Secondly, a Michigander. Third off,
green tongue.
Same name set as my dad. Fourth was a wrestling coach down the road. Fifth, probably one of the
green tongue.
Yeah, green tongue.
Green tongue, and then the eating the turnbuckle.
Absolutely not. Absolutely do not. Our football coach too, I think, but definitely does not. You do not disrespect the animals.
Yeah.
Who's a good heel? You're saying this Roman Reigns kid's a good heel now? He looked like a real wrestler.
I'm just saying he's a better heel than he was trying to be the face.
He looked more like a wrestler than Dragon Boy and Marco Taint or whatever it's called, Marco Light.
Stunt, not Taint.
And those two kids, the baldy, the one kid looks like he's halfway going for a mullet. The brothers, the kids.
Oh, the Young Bucks.
They'll run around in their backyard. And by the way, when the hell are they going to get rid of fat ass Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho wasn't that good when he was in his prime. He's prime. He was he's wrestler.
Good on the mic though. He's pretty funny on the mic.
No, he was.
He's
Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett.
They've done some weird ass matches too on AEW.
I don't doubt it. I mean,
and not only it's like matches. There's some segments like there was a whole musical. Anyway.
I will say this one more thing. If you guys, Jim Cornette has a show. If you want to take that seems pretty honest about the Flair thing. I know we were joking around about it a little bit, but like if you want a pretty honest take about it and a reasonable take on how you can handle situations where you don't agree with what the person did, but that doesn't mean you bury a person. I suggest you go and listen to Jim Cornette's take on it. It's a very good take on it. I think it makes a lot of sense. And that's all I got to say with so that's wrestling. Add that to the tag. Now all of a sudden we're a wrestling show too. It's okay.
We spend like a half an hour talking wrestling. Well, maybe 15.
This is what we talk. By the way, usually we stop the live feed, and this is what me and Pete talk around in the background. And I'm like, dude, you have to go watch this match or this cut or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's it. So
nonsense. So
who's not better? Who's not better than Hogan back in the day? There wasn't a lot. He was not a great wrestler. His moves were very bad.
Very bad and
very sluggish.
That's your finisher. Like that's it. The big leg.
I like the leg drop. The leg drop was the best thing he had. Have you ever seen that man try to go off the top rope, or have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen him try to work the buckles? That not a good thing. Even doing the typical back and forth double hit fall down. Mongo McMichaels is the only person maybe worse at that move than Hulk. Well, the Ultimate Warrior, but that's because the Ultimate Warrior would never sell.
Ultimate Warrior wouldn't sell anything.
Sell shit.
But wouldn't sell shit. Didn't matter what you did. I'm getting up.
Yeah, it's a fucking thing. Nash and Goblin from here. Sister looks identical. I think it is his identical twin. No. Yeah, no, your eyes are right, bro. That's another story. That's another Marco story. But God bless him. But yeah, he's another one that the rope movement's bad. The rope movement and they're on the same. Nash and Hogan's rope movement are the same. So, which is a step up from Mongo McMichaels. But that ain't saying much. All right. Yes, I did. You want to know what? Because they could edit. That was some of his best wrestling. Was in that. And remember when he fought the dude from Friday, Debo?
Oh, Zeus. That's right.
Yeah, Zeus. Probably wrestling was in what was the name of that?
No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred. Yeah, probably some of his best wrestling.
What's that smell? Dude.
And what was it? Deep Thunder when he was the guy that was on the boat. He did. I've never seen him do a crossarm bar.
Was it like
Tropical Thunder? Tropic Thunder?
No. It was like Thunder in Paradise or something.
Thunder in Paradise.
Never
seen him do a clothesline better than on Thunder in Paradise. So, but he could drive an awesome armored motorboat. Yes, he could.
Thanks, JJ.
Yes, he could. Thanks, JJ. He could drive. No, hey, I love it. I mean, he was a great promo. Like that's the one thing you got to say about.
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want, but there wasn't
getting ready, like him, getting hyped up as if you're hitting him and he's fighting it off.
That's why like the match I think is we should maybe you know what? Who cares? We're gonna do a tier list on AE wrestlers one time, so I can get it out. Like,
I don't care if nobody watches.
Yeah, I don't care if nobody watches. I'm just doing it because I want to do it. Macho Man by far is probably one of the best all around. When you look at it, he would sometimes say promos that made sense. He would sometimes say nonsensical promos. He could wrestle. He could sell when he needed to sell. He like, there was the part where him and Elizabeth, like, you thought he was beating Elizabeth. Like, there was the part where he was the heel. He was a good heel. Like, Hogan's heel was never a good heel, right?
Yeah,
He
like, he didn't really want to do it.
Oh, yeah. And he could snap into Slim Jim like nobody else, man. He really
I
could.
just didn't realize, like, how like messed up Macho Man was with the security cameras at home, and like,
first off, he came out of Florida wrestling. Florida, go check the news out, because there's always something going down in Florida. Number two, there's probably definitely a lot of drug abuse and head trauma there. You know what I mean? And yeah, he was paranoid. The Elizabeth thing was kind of crazy. But Mach's promos. I mean, there wasn't a better promo. I mean, there was. Hogan was a better.
Yeah, but
there's a time where Macho Man said something to the effect of, "Me and Gene, let me tell you something. The people and the things gonna do what they're gonna do, because it's gonna be the way it's gonna be, man." That's his promo. Like, word for word, his freaking promo. Like,
that was pretty good. That was a good.
Oh, thanks. Word for word.
I'm not joking. That was pretty good.
Word for word is promo. Which there's another one. Here's one. He's fighting. Was he fighting Rocky Marciano? No. The Steamboat. He's fighting Steamboat.
Oh, Steamboat. I was going to say,
Steamboat.
was it Dragon?
This guy's came out.
Dragon Steamboat?
So I'm going to tell you a thing about a thing, and here it is. Me, Gene, don't you ever cut me off again. The thing is here.
And he pulls out a bath rug, and he throws the bath rug on Mean Gene Okerlund.
Let's wipe it down, because I'm going to tell you, Ricky doesn't even know.
Pulls out a trash can, the spot trash can from it's still the hotel trash can to this day, right? Like, pulls it out, pops the trash can, goes to the fucking place. He's like, "'Cause you're on the TV and you're doing the thing, and we're gonna." It's like almost a Cosby Jello pop, pudding pop commercial that he does. Then comes back to the real promo and goes, "So when you want to come down and fight, brother, I got you. We're good." And does it. Elizabeth comes on.
Did I tell you could talk to Miss?
You could talk to her, man. And pulls it out from the nonsensical crap with the trash can and a bath mat, which he calls a fucking towel, and nonsensical shit.
And then it gets real for a second.
Yeah. Done, man. It was crazy, the promo. So,
yeah, we got to do something.
Yeah, we got to do it. Rowdy Pipe. Okay, they like it. I mean, we
did it. We like I no exaggeration. We did 20, almost 30 minutes with no preparation or
wrestling. Hey, look, man. Once the match, that's why Jedi, he does. Jedi's once the match starts going, you just can't stop him. All right, but we got to stop it because people are going to bed, and I have to go to bed.
Yeah, it's midnight already. My time.
My time too. So thank you very much. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. I guess leave them in the comments below, but we're going to be doing wrestling. I guess we're going to do a wrestling one.
At some point, we'll do something.
I think we should do it soon because it's fun.
It is fun.
Paul, JJ. John,
Jimmy Hart. You don't remember Jimmy Hart?
Jimmy Hart, Fuji? Jim Cornette,
Mr. Fuji,
Brother Love, Mr. Fuji, Bobby Heenan, who was a wrestler.
Oh, Bobby the Brain Heenan,
great. Oh, even Ted DiBiase eventually went to man. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. He came back.
Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, he came back to NXT. Dead? Well, I'm not saying he came back to life. I'm just saying he came back to wrestling. He was on NXT a few weeks ago or a couple months ago.
His kid, not him, right?
No, him. Not to wrestle.
How old is he? 90?
No, he's I don't know, 50s or 60s. He came back to kind of reintroduce the $1 million belt.
Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase's not fit, Pete.
I'm telling you, he was on, and he
Ted
didn't look
DiBiase's
that bad.
not 50 years old, bro.
I'm not saying 50. I'm saying 59, 65, somewhere in that range.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan is funny as shit. By the way, he was if you think that character is crazy, he actually is like a class clown, not as serious, like not idiot, like and would always get in fucking trouble with shit, dude. Did he at one point? Didn't Hacksaw at one point he went through a metal detector with the wood? he was traveling. Okay, quick Hacksaw Jim Duggan story. Hacksaw Jim Duggan at one point was traveling through flight, and he had to put the wood through the metal detector, and he carried it in a big long case, so it didn't get all bashed up. Shit you not, like a gun case almost. The fucking
like
TSA,
like a cello or something, or an instrument.
TSA stopped him and said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Building a house, one beam at a time." Put him in the corner. All right, that's it. Pete, get us out of here, dude.
Yeah, I think on that note, you can't top a nice little Hacksaw Jim Duggan story to take us out.
Take us out.
But we will see you guys next
Building a house one at a time.